10,
9, 8,
7,
6,
5,
4,
3,
2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ceebration Nightly News Day 2, powered by the Virtual Cantina Network. We are your source for all Star Wars Celebration news across the Holonet, especially right here on the Virtual Cantina Network. I am JT from the Nerf Herder Council. Real quick, let's go around the horn and everybody introduce themselves before we get into tonight's heavy slate of Star Wars Celebration content. So,
hello, Rebels, citizens of the Republic, dark side users, everyone, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I am Sarah. I am co-host of Daughters of the Galaxy on the Virtual Canteen Network every other Wednesday evening. Coming in as a add-in co-host here. Most of our team is currently in Japan at Star Wars Celebration. So we are the B team here. I'd also like to introduce my husband, Jason Barnes, also known as JB Spectre One in our little Barnes crew in our household.
Well, that is an honor. No, good evening, friends, family, Star Wars. Just, it's great to be here as a guest host. I want to say thank you to Mark and my wife for inviting me, and looking forward to talking all things yesterday and what we've got coming up tonight. Over to you, my friend Mark.
It is so exciting to be back for night 2 because night 1 was like chaotic in the best possible way. We are off to an interesting start. For anyone who's watching live with us, and we'll be live on the Facebook page in just a minute, our StreamYard studio is a little messy at the moment, and I definitely use the Skywalkers, the Sky Talkers intro instead of our own. So there's that.
I think you're going to hear about that.
Best countdown yet.
But thank you to them. We share a studio with them because they are awesome, and so very excited to be back and talking about day 2. Thank you to the Sky Talkers, and 2, thank you to everyone who's been sending us stuff from Celebration. It has been amazing, so much so that do we have content. This PowerPoint is unreal with the amount of stuff we have that's happened over the past day. Mando movie, Starfighter, Darth Maul, all sorts of good stuff to cover. So it's been like a crazy day already, and we're only one day in.
It's only one day in. Yeah, it seemed to be quite the first day. You know, lots of energy. Lots of amazing pictures of cosplays and celebrity sightings. Lots of fun interviews, people showing up, being introduced to the crowds on the main stage. Everybody commented in some of the long shots about how huge that main stage was. I've never seen one quite that size at a Celebration before. Even the ones I didn't go to, just being able to see them on the screen, it looked massive. So, typical trials and tribulations of day 1 of a convention, but overall, hearing lots of fun, positive things, people getting together, taking selfies, meeting new people, getting new friend groups established in photograph lines, all kinds of interesting stories.
And isn't that the best part? It's meeting people at these shows more than anything else. I know the celebrity meetings are important, and getting your autographs and your photo ops and buying your merch and going to the panels, but like it's very much the friends you meet along the way. And I know that sounds like so cheesy, but that's why I'm even a part of this group. Like I met people at Celebration and everywhere else, and formed my friend network out of this.
Yeah, I've met AJ and I. Our first Celebration was 2010. And at a mixer after hours on the first night, we were sitting there talking football. We're from Cleveland, and we're talking about our Browns.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And we hear that. That's generally the response we get. And we heard this guy behind us go, the Browns. And we turn around and say, okay, who the hell do you like? And he says, the Ravens. I was like, oh no. Well, we end up talking to this guy, and then his brother and his girlfriend come up. And the 5 of us hung out all night, and we literally been friends ever since. We've been to the brother's wedding. The brother and the girlfriend actually got engaged at Celebration in the VIP with Daniel Logan and Jake Lloyd.
No way.
Yeah, so that's where the proposal happened. So yeah, I mean, you guys are so right. Like, it's the people you meet and the friendships you make. I mean, I met Spencer at Celebration out of nowhere in 2019 at the, I think it was the second Bunta.
And
he ended up, he was like, what are you doing later? I'm like, we're hanging out. And poor Spencer came along with us, and Oh my goodness, it was just ridiculous. And I thought the guy, we're never going to see him again. He doesn't want anything to do with this. And next thing you know, we've been fast friends ever since. So, wouldn't be here without Celebration and Spencer and all those great friendships you mentioned. So,
Yeah.
Well, I'm grateful. I mean, I'm grateful for Spencer and Mark and team and my wife, because I'm late to the VCN. I mean, Sarah was part of the Clone Wars the Rebels
Revisited.
from the
That's what
beginning.
finally got me
And
hooked. Yeah.
and of course then she goes gallivanting off to California last year
Without you.
meet all these great people, and I'm like, I've got to check this out. And we've got Clone Wars now and this, so there is something very special about the friends that you meet because of Star Wars. It is a hook that because you speak a similar language, and it doesn't really matter. You all have origin stories of how we come to this, and it's great to just sort of see it and then see that it passed on to the next generation. But it is truly a family, and I saw that was a theme a lot of times in some of the interviews on main stage that you watched, whether you were talking to Sean or Sigourney Weaver, or they were all talking about it being a family, and that's so true with the fans too.
Ryan Gosling had some really 100%. Interesting things to say about that. You could tell he was hunting for a way to hook the audience in, and I feel like he was pretty successful at that.
Yeah, and I think he and especially Sigourney Weaver. One thing I think we've come to see at these celebrations with people who are new, these actors, that it's their first time experiencing a celebration crowd, the look on their face when they come out, they're like, oh my God. Like,
Sigourney's was precious.
Yeah, exactly. On the Star Wars live stage, she was awesome. She was like, oh my God.
Love it.
It's like, so I mean, it's such a great thing to see. And I'm totally on board with you guys. Like, the energy and the positivity and everything that comes out of Celebration is just, I was watching it last night, getting goosebumps, and just all the memories of the, back to 2010 and all the crazy stuff. Like, there's no better place to be. I mean, it feels like just like a drug you're injecting into your veins. It's like that Star Wars drug. Like, you go a few years without it, and all of a sudden it's like, boom! It's like, that shot of adrenaline when you go to Celebration. Yeah.
No, and even this. I mean, watching the Celebration nightly news last night. I mean, Mark, you mentioned it was rapid fire right out of the get-go.
Yeah,
and right
I couldn't keep up.
You couldn't, but it was so much fun as someone who was trying to type just comments, but to watch you guys on the panel and just see the fun and the excitement of the each when Starfighter that got rolled out and all the news and it was having Skip on when he calls in, it was just so much fun to see just the energy, the excitement right out of the gate. And even though we're thousands of miles away, Celebration, it's global. No matter where it lands, it is a global, everything. We're all sort of glued. Star Wars fans, if you could be in London, you can be in, the States. And obviously in Tokyo, we're all glued to what's going on, and we're celebrating this thing that is special, and it's a part of us.
Yep. It feels like we're there. That's what last night felt like when I was on. I was on with Ashley and Sherry. It was such a blast. We had Skip call in, as you mentioned.
Yep.
We were up. I was here like updating the slides as things were going on. It was like truly chaotic in the best possible way because we had gotten all of the photos. So everyone out in Japan, shout out to Spencer and to Jeff and to Dave and everyone else who is out there right now because they're sending us pictures. And we're seeing what they did. And we had like the whole not so virtual cantina event. And we're like, oh, we're going to cover what happened because we're 13 hours behind. So it is now 10 a.m.
The Andor panel is going on right now.
Yeah, right now. So I'm like waiting for Andor stuff. That's why I'm like looking like this. The big screen's over here.
I just saw Jeremy post that he saw them in the crowd shot. He saw one and he saw Spencer and Dave O'Neill. And
oh, that's cool.
So.
Yeah. And I do want to just put up on here the Nerf Herder Council. So I think I'm the only one who actually has producer capability here because Bryce was on with me last night. So I missed Bryce's name before. So Bryce and Ashley and I all have producer capability. So we were all able to keep tabs of the comments. I'm the only one who I think can do this tonight. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on the comments while that's brewing. But yeah, we were really blown away by the quantity of news that we had already gotten from the day before in our Dropbox, everything that we looked at online, and then as we were on, the news came out like a floodgate. Like I couldn't believe how much they told us about Starfighter. You know,
Right
it
up
wasn't
front.
like some
Yeah.
in development idea. This was
No.
like fully fleshed out.
Yep.
Like it was crazy.
Yeah, I feel like they've been sitting on that one for a while.
Yeah, it's been
in order
a
for
rumor.
in order for him to be like, oh, this isn't in development. We're in pre-production. We are shooting right now.
Yeah, that's kind of
So,
crazy. And with that in mind, I do want to show a little bit of like, so day one, do a little day one recap because this is when all the news came out. This was the stage where everyone got this amazing news.
Love it.
You know, must have been amazing to be in that crowd. Here were some of the lines.
Those lines. Wow. look at
Lines. So many lines. I didn't put in a lot of them. Also, for everyone in the Facebook group, we hear you, but we are also maybe not allowing every comment about the lines because we know there are lines.
Okay,
Also,
so amazing. Elliot
Dave.
here. He was at AwesomeCon in DC. And the first weekend in April, we were like, "Is that the guy? That's the guy from Main Stage. The guy who came to AwesomeCon, does Ceebration. Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
He's fantastic. He was at the London O2 event,
Mm.
and that's our Dave O'Neill up there. That's you know,
Mhm.
Dave Foloni.
Mhm.
And that's his view of the crowd, like his little selfie view. So,
Mhm. Awesome.
yeah, I don't know if everyone knows this, but when we were at San Diego Comic-Con, he was in the airport looking like this in his best Dave Filoni drag, and someone thought he was really Dave Filoni and put a picture up on the internet being like, Dave Filoni spotted in San Diego.
It was somebody else's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I do want to talk to show Sherry.
Hey,
All right,
Sherry.
one, we have to talk about the
From last
Narkina
night.
5 run at the
Mhm.
panel.
Yeah.
That is perfect timing. Excellent. I also need a count on how many people didn't wear shoes so we can have them killed.
There was a
And
lot
then-
of flip flops and like Birkenstock sandals, but I think
Right.
everybody had shoes that I saw that went running by. So yeah.
Good. That's what I want to see. And then Sherry is one of our newest mods as well. She joined our
Mhm.
hosting crew specifically for Ceebration,
Yeah.
but she also jumped in
Trial
as a
by
mod.
fire. Trial by fire. Yes.
Yeah.
No pro tip to anyone else. Don't join a moderating webpage team on the biggest weekend of the year for that particular page. It's a bit much.
But yeah, big shout to the mods.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They are definitely working overtime for sure. I'm trying to see if they post anything new on the Facebook, or I'm sorry, so I'm using Twitter, which I don't love, but like it is timely. I'm
Ooh.
using it just for today to see the Star Wars handle.
Ooh.
The cast of Andor season 2 have taken the Star Wars Celebration stage. That's 5 minutes
Spencer
ago.
sent a picture.
Mhm.
Oh gosh, everybody looks so glamorous.
I know everyone looks
Right?
great. Out of their hair and makeup, these are some
Mhm.
like incredibly good-looking people because in the show they filthy them up. Like
Uh-huh.
Denise
Right.
Go looks haggard in that show, and then in real
Mhm.
life she's a supermodel. It's wild.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what they're talking about. We
Looks
can't
like
be
they're just
that,
doing a quick rundown of the first season of Andor on the live feed from StarWars.com. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, full disclosure, the Star Wars YouTube page is live and doing all of the, full coverage and everything. So, you'll be in the moment with them. We're going to try to cover as best as we can. Continuing from yesterday's events, though, Dave was on stage with that great Pelimoto cosplayer. Apparently came in second place in the trivia. And then there are some of our group members posting their view. They made it into the panels, which is so exciting.
Fantastic.
I love all this. And then, all right, we got to talk
There it was.
Starfighter, which don't
I
you
don't know,
think
man.
sounds like Star Killer or sounds like Skywalker? There's something
Good.
about that cadence.
Yep.
Yeah, but they were very clear about the fact that this is a completely different story. It's a
Mhm.
completely new story. It's nothing, no prequel, no sequel,
Yeah.
no connections. It's
Yeah.
completely original work for which I was really grateful.
Yeah, same.
I was glad
my-
to hear that. I was like, can we move away, please? Can we do something different? So
My first thought was, is this that Rogue Squadron film that will be?
Jason,
Ah.
Sarah and I were having this conversation earlier
that's
today.
immediately where my brain went. Is I
It
was
was-
like, I had a David Rose reaction of it.
We'll say
Ew.
one-sided conversation,
like,
but we were having a
what?
conversation.
I was like, what? I'm like, okay, I hope the optics on this are going to change as we get more information. But I was like, so you nixed the Patty Jenkins movie, and now all of a sudden we got a writer dude, a director dude, a star dude, and they're all white dudes and you're
Mhm.
making the same movie.
I had some similar thoughts.
See, I told you I
Yeah.
wasn't crazy.
No,
He's like, you're making connections that aren't there. I'm like, they're not there
They're
either.
there.
You know, it's a little cringe, Disney. I'm hoping as it comes out and we get more information, they did better. They didn't capitulate to the toxic fan base on that. Please, not have done
So
that.
once the dust settled and the excitement sort of waned, everyone did, I think, have that collective breath of like, huh, Sean Levy, he just did Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Gosling, pretty safe choice. And then he's going to be a fighter pilot, also very safe choice. And you have to wonder how calculated that is. I'm still excited about it, but what I lament is like, where's my Lando show? The thing that I've been screaming about for like 7 years,
I know.
Or
right?
even another
Like,
Lando movie, a Solo 2 that's mainly Lando with like Solo woven in.
Yep.
I want Lando's mother. That is what I have always wanted. Listening to him when he's given his, writing his book, his memoirs, and he's talking about his mom. And I mean, the man has the most fabulous wardrobe. She had to have had something to do with that.
his
And it's
fashion sense is
amazing.
definitely from some like
How
very, very
amazing
cool
as Lando
lady.
was in the Solo movie. I want to see the woman that raised that boy. That is what I want.
Yeah.
That would have been the best cameo of all time. Just a little sprinkled in there. Like when Erica showed up in Stranger Things, just that little bit of spice thrown in there that just elevates everything. That would have been good.
Mark, you
I
made
like
the
that.
comment. You made the comment last night and before, right? Is I think one of the things that maybe they've learned is, we had a bunch of announcements of films for whatever reason or shows that did not pan out, that ended up getting canceled. There was differences in creative differences. How do you like it? Versus, I think this one has been more flushed out, and it's definitely been more. It's green lighted. Now they're now they're making the announcement. So this thing is definitely, as they mentioned in the interview, they're in pre-production. They're rolling. They've got a date set out. So hopefully, it's just from hey, I'm releasing this at Celebration, and we're making the announcement. There's less chances of it falling in its face. But I'm with you. There's a lot of projects. I mean, we talked last night about the Daisy Ridley. I mean, I'm actually very excited for that project. I want to see that continue the story out in the future, something different. Let's watch where that goes. That's what I'm hoping Starfighter will do. It sounds like that's where they're taking, at least conceptually. And they're very excited about the script and the storyline.
I was really encouraged listening to the two of them, listening to Sean and Ryan talk. That did give me a lot of hope that they're huge fans and that they're really excited and that they understand the responsibility. And I was like, great. I'm like, just make sure it's responsibility for all of us, not just the mouthy people who are negative about other points of views, and that it's a really big galaxy and that there's lots of perspectives and that you can tell lots of different kinds of stories. I'm like, okay, guys, I'm so cynical by nature anyway, and it's just been particularly bad over the last couple of years. I want to believe. Please don't make a sucker out of me. Come on, guys.
No, I
Come
know. And look, everything's burning around us, and so there are obviously much bigger fish to fry. But at the same time, I'm like, can we please have something different and interesting? And I think like this feels kind of vanilla. I hate to say it. I will say I don't want to make any
vanilla
judgments
base.
yet.
A lot of good things can be made with vanilla ice cream base. You know what I mean? You can make some fabulous desserts with that. You just don't put a couple of rainbow sprinkles on it and call it good. Okay,
Well,
you gotta build.
Speaking of rainbow sprinkles, one of my thoughts was we're gonna set this in a time when this is Oscar Isaac's boyfriend. So there we go. This will piss off everyone. So we're gonna make Poe gay.
I love that idea. Yep.
Yeah, done and done. Ryan Gosling hasn't played gay yet. That being said, I do want to talk about what we do know about the movie because we don't know anything yet. So the movie is called Star Wars Starfighter. It's going to be in theaters May 2027. It is set after Episode 9. Ryan Gosling is obviously the only cast member I think they revealed at this point. And Sean Levy is the director. And as you can see from this photo, they could both get it. So we are off to a solid start, I think. And his hat was so funny. They have to turn that into merch. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Well, and that's why I loved it that he was like, this is our mantra moving forward. This is our guiding light. Like, we are so bloody terrified. Don't come in and tell me how likely it is we're going to fail. Like, I don't want to hear that. And I was like, all right, All right, you get it. You get it.
I enjoy Ryan's sort of like throwback douchey kind of look to like early aughts. Like, because now
I
that
did
he's a
not
man
enjoy
in his
that.
40s, like this is
I
the
did
kind of
not enjoy
guy
that.
like when I was in my 20s, that was my jam. Like, it's a problem.
Yeah. See, and as a mom, I'm looking at him going, "Get a freaking haircut! How dare you show up on stage looking
Well-
like that? What is wrong with you? I'm pulling my Edie out. You know, I'm like,
You
what
can-
are
you can
you're
pick your
embarrassing the
flavor.
family. What do you think you're doing? Go get yourself cleaned up. What's wrong with you?"
Well, here's the question, right? Which flavor of Ryan Gosling do we like? This one or The Driver? And I will say, I think this is his best all-time movie, and he's done some stellar work, but like this is the one. Like, and hopefully this is what he brings to the role, is like this type of energy, right?
See, my favorite Ryan Gosling, and I hate to say this because there's parts of it that have not aged well. Crazy Stupid Love.
Oh, that's a great movie. Yeah.
There's a few bits of it that are just like,
Oh, yeah,
what
no,
are you
then-
doing? So it makes it hard to go back and watch it now because I didn't like it then, but then I was like, oh boy, that really hasn't aged well. But him in that movie is
and everyone's great. Michael Scott, Emma Stone, they're all terrific.
Yep.
And here's some pictures from the panel yesterday.
That was funny.
Dave
the
Filoni was there,
sheets.
the bed sheets.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I had
I mean,
those. Yep.
We all
he's
had
been a
those.
lifelong Star Wars fan, and who wasn't? He's
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the age that this
Yep.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This though, this sent me the Ken as a starfighter.
Is
That's great.
hysterical. The pink and blue helmet. I love it.
Mhm.
I love
It's
it.
so funny.
See, that could have
and
been the Rogue Squadron
little blue
movie.
blaster.
That could have worked for me here. I'm telling
So
you.
The
shameless
shorts.
self plug right now is that I have the Barbie license at work, and we have multiple Ken costumes coming out for this Halloween because it is still relevant. Let me tell you, like the Barbie movie is still like a top seller. So I've got the Ken Mojo Dojo costume, including the coat. I've got a
No.
beach Ken. I've got a roller skating, like rollerblade neon Ken, from that scene in the movie. And I've got the Western cowboy Ken. So, JB, if there's any that, or
Yeah,
or
I know.
JB or JT, if you're looking to be Ken, Starfighter Ken might be up your alley too. But like, I
That
got
we
the
can pull
officially
off.
licensed.
That's
I think we can pull
appropriate.
that off.
I think we can do Starfighter Ken because I can lengthen the shorts a little bit too.
Mhm.
I think I could only pull off Chubby Ken, and I don't think there is a Chubby Ken. So
You
since
are
that doesn't
enough.
exist.
You are enough. Don't worry.
I would
That's
have to
right.
get. Spend a little more time in the gym. Although I think I could paint my helmet that color. Now that I think about it.
There you
We
go.
have a
I've got the
customizable
helmet.
X-wing that's white that is perfect for painting. I feel like I'm going to try to do something like this, but I need help from my actual cosplay friends because as much as I work for a costume company, it's not my specialty.
Yeah.
And then here's Ryan on the Star Wars stage. I thought the stage was great yesterday. They did such a good job with all the interviews.
Mhm.
I'm a huge fan of Anthony Carboni. Like I got to work with him professionally back in 2019 when I was doing all the autograph planning for the Ceebration Hall, and he and Andy Gutierrez at the time, who's no longer in this space, but they
Yeah.
were an amazing
Loved her.
team. I
Yes.
loved the Star
Yeah.
Wars show. I thought that was the
Yes.
best thing that
Oh,
Lucasfilm
Rebels
ever
recap.
did.
Yeah.
The Rebels recap. I
Fantastic.
loved Rebels recap.
Yeah.
Oh, Rebels
Yeah.
Recon.
Recon.
Yes.
Recon.
Yeah.
That's right.
When I
Yeah.
met her, I told her, I was like, girl, you have the best show in the entire company. And she was like, what are you talking about? I was like, Recon. Like,
Mhm.
and she's like, yeah, it's fun. I have a great time. And I was like, Rebels is great. Recon is amazing.
Recon's
So,
the best.
and she was like, oh, you're coming on very strong, sir. I was like, because we're like professional coworkers. And I was like, I'm a fan. I watch you on TV. Like,
I'm fangirling.
Oh, that's funny.
And I have to admit, one of the things that JB, I don't know if you saw that caught my eye is that both Sean and Ryan stopped and talked to the Japanese chef right by the door. The one who was working with the robot and he did the cake and all that kind of stuff for Hayden and everything. They were the only ones that I have seen so far that when they walked out, they stopped, they went over, they shook his hand, they talked to him. And I was like, it reminded me of like when we go to the Air Force Ball, we always stop and talk to the airmen that are standing out there and directing traffic, or they're taking tickets at the gate or whatever. It's like, there's just something about that. You stop and you take a minute and you talk to the people, and Hayden said, let's thank everybody who put all this together. Like this is years and years and years of work,
it is.
I love it
It's
when
so
people
much
take
work.
that, when you see them take that minute, that just kind of, to me, really shows what good people they are. So I was like, all right, that's a little checkbox in the right column there. Nicely done, gentlemen. Well done.
Very classy. I'm looking at the pictures. Spencer sent on Facebook a bunch of pictures from the panel.
Yeah.
Everyone looks so good. It's wild. Like,
Mhm.
yeah. I don't know if I haven't gotten a text yet that says something crazy. So if they were like confirm Tarkin or something, you know what I mean? Like
No,
there
I
hasn't
think
been one of
everybody's
those
just
yet.
really into the panel. Like everybody's just
Yeah.
really watching right now. I think they're waiting for a big drop. I haven't seen anything either.
Yeah, I'm waiting for like the big news beat because I feel like yesterday we were
Oh
like
crap! Kareen said first episode. Are they playing an episode and that's why everybody went quiet?
that could be, and that might be why they're not on their phones. And no surprise. I mean, I think we were all talking about how
Yeah,
like
they're
we
going to show
expected they
something.
would show the first episode. Oh,
Mhm.
Okay.
we can use this as an opportunity for our shameless plug. The Andor watch along is going to be starting next week, and I'd love to introduce our newest co-host for this, Sarah Barnes.
Come join us on Friday evening for your Andor recap.
That's right. Friday nights will belong to me, Sarah, and Ashley. And on Thursday nights, Thursday night they're gonna do the first 2 episodes, so episodes 1 and 2, and with the usual
Because they're
trio.
releasing 3 at a time this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
lot. Like that's
it
too
is a
much.
lot.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Like, I can't watch all that in one night. I don't have time.
And that
for
is
this.
the challenge, right?
Oh,
yeah,
I'm getting up Wednesday morning with my coffee and my kid's going off to school and my husband's going to work. I'm like, bye, see ya. Like,
I'm gonna do one
Take
on
notes, take notes,
Tuesday
take notes.
and then
Yeah.
2 on Wednesday. I think that feels doable.
see, I'm not
Um,
as online as you are. I can put my phone down and go to bed Tuesday night and it won't bother me. You know, I didn't get spoiled with Purgles, just so you know.
Yeah.
Oh, no Purgles.
No
No
Purgles.
Purgles. No Purgles.
I know JT hates the Purgles.
No.
It's
No
okay.
Purgles.
Uh-oh.
They are
Ouch,
the-
sir.
the
Ouch.
single,
you may leave now.
single
There-
worst
there's-
thing in all of
there's-
Star Wars
there's no-
history. Almost 50 years.
There's
No, you're so wrong. You're so wrong.
100% accurate.
No,
Anybody who says different is wrong.
I don't
They're
think
the
we're
best.
Purgles and Andor, so I think this is a safe space for
Yes,
you, JT.
good.
That was
good.
a reference
I-
to Mark getting spoiled because he couldn't stay
yeah.
off Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah. Sherry, on the other hand, has the right idea. She's just going to pull an all-nighter. If we let you stop
Right.
moderating, Sherry, if we
That's
release
right.
you from your temporary prison, a prison of your own making, nonetheless, which is how all of us ended up on the VCN.
Exactly.
So we are definitely going to be covering Andor in a big way. We've got the 2-night watch along. So one, watch it in real life on Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. Thursday, it's going to be Jeff, Dave, and Spencer, so the usual trio, and then me and Sarah and Ashley on Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll only have to watch 1 episode, so that's the
And then
nice
kind
thing.
of a wrap up the whole arc sort of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe kind of try to connect it to what came previously a little bit, chitter chatter until
Exactly.
we push Mark offline because he won't quit talking. You know?
Exactly. When did we ever finish an episode of Rebels in under?
Dude, there were
an
so
hour
many
and
nights
10?
that I was like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I gotta go to bed. I had to close the laptop before y'all were done talking. I was like, are they still going? I'm like, oh, they wandered off into Marvel somewhere. I can't. I gotta get up early tomorrow. I can't. I'm sorry.
We hit play on the episode and then pretend it's not even happening, and then Ashley are like, "Did you watch the Oscars?" And it'll be that, and we're just
Yep.
like on to some other. Yeah,
On-
JT, your show is not Star Wars specific usually. Like you guys do a bunch of other topics, you and AJ. So, what were some of your favorite non-Star Wars topics that you've done in the past year or so? Because you've been on the network a little over a year now.
Yeah. I don't know. I think, one of the things that I actually, to be honest, one of my favorite things that we did, it was a Star Wars centric episode, and it was in relation to the Acolyte. And I had it was I cursed a lot. AJ put me in solo, but I went off on a rant about all of these online expletive quote unquote fans. I think Sarah, you were talking about earlier. I had it absolutely up to here about hearing about the witches and stuff like that, and I just went off. And I
remember
actually
this.
Yeah, I posted on the VCN Facebook page just so people would know, like, hey, it's gonna get kind of ugly because I'm using my platform. It's like I got a voice, you don't, so you know.
Yeah.
Kind of like Adam Sandler in The Wedding Singer. You're going to listen to every damn word I have to say. So, yeah, and I just got to just yell about people just being a-holes about it. And so that was fun. And it's hard for me, honestly, to remember specific episodes because honestly, like, AJ and I started the show back in December of 2015. Our first episode ever was, a live react to The Force Awakens after coming out of the theater.
Oh, wow.
And we started it as an excuse to hang out together. And at the time, for most of the time we've had the show, it's been with an amazing friend of ours named Steve. And then Steve dropped off about 2-3 years ago. but yeah, it's like, I mean, every episode's got some high points and stuff, and because it's me and my brother getting an extra chance to hang out.
That's
And
cool. I like
yeah,
that.
and so and the reason that we do the non-Star Wars stuff is that like we realize like we're nerds and we had other stuff that we kind of wanted to talk about. So
Yeah.
but we try to do Star Wars as often as we can. We just don't want to kind of revisit topics, and our problem is, again, having been around since 2015, we've exhausted a lot of topics.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to kind of
You're gonna end up
revisit stuff.
rehashing. Yeah. So you must be really excited about all of the new stuff that is coming out, because give you all new things to talk about. Woohoo!
Exactly. Yeah, it's always
kidding.
cool, and it's always cool, and also Ceebration kind of like I said earlier, it gives you that kind of shot in the arm.
Yeah.
So you get that kind of adrenaline boost and everything. But yeah, I'd say my favorite episode, especially because it was on the network, was kind of just chewing people out for being complete a-holes about the Acolyte.
Yep.
I just
we need that.
Yeah,
we do.
It's like, and I try and avoid that sort of thing. Like neither AJ nor I are political or anything like that. We very much are like, we stay in our lane. We're not educated enough about it, so we don't speak about it because we don't want to say something wrong. But at that time, I'm like, give me a break with all of this. Will you stop it, please?
It's a big galaxy,
Yeah, and who cares?
Star Wars is for everybody, but not every Star Wars has to be for you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
case
not
in
your
point,
jam.
the
But
Jedi, what is it? The Young Jedi Adventures.
Young
That's
Jedi,
obviously not for me. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
Like that's what's so funny.
and I don't want it
Yeah.
destroyed or eliminated or removed, because that's not real Star Wars. So,
Well, and I always say on our show, I don't care what they put out. I like that there's always more content. Even if I only like say 1 out of 10 things, I love that it's there, because there's something for somebody to like, and everything they put out might lead to something that I like. So you never know where it's going to go. So the more content, the better. So even if I don't care for it, like we joke about Purgle, like there's so many people that love that idea, and that's fantastic to me.
Sherry.
Sherry.
Oh, and look, I like that her comment fully covers you too. Look, it's karma.
Sherry, you are wrong, and I will yell about you on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Nerf Herder Council as we review Andor Season 2. What we've seen so far, I will yell about Purgle just for you.
We won't see Purgles, but I do think we have a chance of seeing Ahsoka, possibly because of production, where like Ahsoka Season 2 is one of the new things that's coming up, and you'd want to tee that up somehow. And in theory, she exists in that time frame. I don't want that. I don't need the Easter eggs, but I think it's possible. I do want to continue to move along. So past Starfighter, the other big news we got was Mandalorian and Grogu with a new logo. We already know quite a bit about this movie. It's in theaters May of 2026, which is about a year away, which is so exciting. So that means we're going to get 2 movies 2 years in a row, which also makes me think there will probably be something in 2028. How adorable is this? Grogu stole the show along with Pedro's boots.
Those boots.
Those boots were fantastic.
Those are insane.
His fashion sense is something else. Let me tell you, he's always wearing something
he's 50
really weird,
and he has no what's left to give.
I think that's part of it.
I adore it.
He's having such the moment. Someone racked it up on Instagram, and it was like the Fantastic Four trailer just came out. The Last of Us Season 2 just premiered, and here he is at Ceebration talking about the Mando Grogu movie. Like, he's really having the time of his life at 50.
Yes.
Like,
and then you always have, JT was talking about it, then you have the haters. They're like, he's just everywhere. I'm getting sick of him. Will he go away? I'm like, sit down and be quiet. Shut up.
It took him a long time to be so prolific. Like, he used to be under the radar, and then all of a sudden, just everything happens at once. That's always what happens, you know?
And I'm like, but don't blame him for that. Let him have it,
Exactly.
Saturation of culture is an American problem. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
And that's how it works in Hollywood. If you catch a hot hand, you better ride that wave, because it's going to go away. So if you get every single project, take it. You got to make hay while the sun shines, man. I don't begrudge anybody that.
Me neither. I mean, I was listening to a British actress talk about that in Hollywood. That is what they want. They want hyphenation. I'm a voice actor / regular actor / podcaster / movie / TV / whatever, like the more things you add to your resume, that's what they're looking for. That's what they want to see. Whereas in Britain, they don't do that. Like it is a very distinctly Hollywood thing. And so when I hear American audiences getting mad about the way Hollywood runs business and then blaming the actor, I'm like, stop.
Yeah, nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Also, you do catch that wave, and then all of a sudden you're everywhere. I mean, hello, Glenn Powell. Like that man
Yeah.
went from under the radar to in everything.
Yeah.
You keep
so-
saying that, but I don't think you and I watch the same things.
Hi, Liberty.
I do want to.
yep.
Where'd she go?
And I agree with you that I was surprised that they didn't change the title. And good reference to the Couch Con, but yeah, I'm still not sure about that title.
We got to print our badges with the.
Yeah, we do. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so excited about this movie. I am a huge Mandalorian fan. I will throw down with anybody over that anytime, any day, whatever. I will have at it. And and my favorite quote of the entire segments that were up there was Sigourney Weaver when she said, I had someone ask me what this movie is about. And she said, it's about action, it's about adventure, and it's about adorableness. And I'm like, that's right. That is what it is. Yes, that's it.
And it's about Pedro in the suit.
Yes.
It's probably the one time that it's not Brendan because he's apparently a clumsy bitch. So
We have a comment.
We broke his nose.
You might want to bring
in
up
the first
Sherry's.
season.
You might want to bring up Sherry's comment. We just got some good nugget.
Ooh. Yes.
They just cut away from panel, but one of our members has posted they get to see the first episode. Oh,
that's awesome.
And of course, they're talking about Andor season 2.
Yeah,
that's what's happening right now live in Japan.
That's cool.
Super
good
exciting
for them.
Hunter, while we're digging through the comments right now, I have already made my prediction that it's Anaheim. I do think it's possible that it's Orlando. It will be America, and I think it's going to be in 2027.
I think 2027 is a lock, but I think it's Orlando personally. I don't know.
I think California, having been there this past summer, there's no room. You can't breathe in downtown Los Angeles across the road from Disneyland. It is expensive. There's no space. I mean, it's tight in Orlando and Disney World, but not as tight as California. I cannot imagine the tens of thousands of people.
It's the political climate and the fact that they're trying out things in Galaxy's Edge West that they're not doing in East. That makes me think they're greasing the wheels for Celebration related stuff. So, but also like out of nowhere, it could be Chicago again or New York or like I keep hearing Javits Center.
I just don't want it to be California because I don't want to have to fly out to California again.
I know. I go to LA all the time, and actually, weirdly enough, I've been going to Vegas a lot. Oh, someone's coming out on the
Anthony
Daniels. Wow.
Anthony Daniels, nice.
He's out on the live stage.
Nice jacket. He's got an all sparkly gold lame sequin jacket on. Anyway, no, I mean, I'm really excited about the Mando Grogu movie, but I agree. I'm like with the title. And the only thing that made me flinch, the only thing that actually made me go, really? Was when Jon Favreau was up there giving the Disney market pitch of it's perfectly okay if you've seen every episode of The Mandalorian and you love it and you want to bring your little brother who's never seen it and he can watch it and he'll totally get it. And we love that if you've never seen Star Wars, come watch the movie with us and it's totally okay. It's totally fine. And we as we always do, we've threaded this line of you can come in and enjoy it, but we'll reward you for having been there from the beginning. Really? Have you, John? Have you always rewarded those of us who've been there from the beginning? Because I have questions. I have some episodes and some shows that I think I can refute that particular.
I was going to say the opposite because I think they cater to these fans that they have to build stuff onto, and they don't do a good job welcoming in new people. So
I think they just failed across the board. I was so irritated.
Oh, there you go. That too.
With some of the new shows and how much repeat and repetition and exposition and bad writing they had to do to bring in the new people. And then I talked to people who'd never seen it and sat down and watched it, and they were bored and they were lost and they didn't get it and they didn't understand and they weren't into it. And I'm like, I don't think you're trying to straddle both boats here, right? And the thing that's going to happen is they're going to go like this, and you're going to end up in the drink, you know? I'm like, look, if you're just catering to new people and trying to bring them in, then say that, you know?
I think Starfighter has a shot at doing that. Also, I have a thought. The 50th anniversary is going to be an exit point for a lot of people. And it should also be an entry point for a lot of other people. I think there's going to be a passing of the torch. I think something like Starfighter being set outside the core 9 movies makes a lot of sense. You almost don't want to see any other existing characters. Even if Daisy Ridley has her own thing coming in 2028, may they never cross paths. Like set something like fully, it's almost why I thought they were going to do a real going back in time to the beginning of time Jedi movie, like they talked about, like the origin of the Jedi,
Sure.
set thousands of years before or something, or like Knights of the Old Republic. I still think that they're missing out by not doing Heir to the Empire, but I'm going to get off that cross because like no one, I feel like I'm the only person screaming for that at the moment, but I do
I
want to continue
appreciate it.
down Mando and Grogu because we have a lot of slides to get through, and there's actually real news happening on the right that we're like paying attention to.
Keep flipping
yeah.
through this.
Meanwhile, this is 2 days in a row now that Anthony Carboni, first he had the Padme shirt, now he has the Leia shirt. So I'm happy with his wardrobe choices.
Okay.
This stage was looking great, like with everyone on here with Pedro and Sigourney. Sigourney
Yep.
is obviously a titan of sci-fi, and I trust her. She's also a fighter pilot in this, which is very cool. She's obviously been there, done that. I think that she is a high-ranking person for sure because you don't make her a junior level anything. The woman's like 60 or whatever it is.
Well, she said she came up in the rebellion and then was fighting to protect the New Order. So yeah,
she's who I think people probably imagined Vice Admiral Holdo was when they pictured Vice Admiral Holdo before we got the reveal of Laura Dern, right? Like that kind of thing. Meanwhile, Zeb.
I was gonna say live action Zeb. Let's go.
Okay. Was anybody else completely thrown off by the fact that he has hair on his arms and legs? I had to go back and look at Mandalorian, and I'm like, it wasn't there. And then I'm like, oh my god, because you can only see like this much of his arms, and I'm like, it is there. But we've been rewatching Rebels and listening to Pod of Rebellion, and I'm like, you can see he's got hair on his face, and I'm like, that was just, it was like Twi'lek markings. It was just skin and markings. And I'm sorry, it just thrown me. I don't like it.
I'm okay with it.
If that's my biggest complaint about the movie, I'm good, but I don't like it. That broke something in my brain, and I just keep going, no.
Let me get this straight. You're cool with whales that go into hyperspace, but not body hair on Zeb.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Here's my thought on this. I don't need Zeb in this. I like Zeb. And I wish he were in Ahsoka because everyone else was, and I do want them to connect. It's just like the action figure hour Easter egg crossover nonsense like is starting to drive me a little crazy. I'd rather see him in Ahsoka because that's where it like makes sense. And there's just a lot of crossing the streams for the sake of getting a pop.
He was in Mandalorian.
Right? No, I know he was, and he shouldn't have been there to begin with. Like that's what I'm saying. Like he should have been in the Ahsoka show. Like I also, where's Callus? Because in the poster from Lucasfilm and anniversary, the 20th anniversary thing, they're hanging out, and now he's not here. And I realize that a live action Callus thing is tricky.
He could be. This is just one screenshot.
I don't know.
A 2.5 hour movie?
I'm suspicious.
But I mean, Mark, didn't we hear? And correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't we hear that this Mando and Grogu movie is going to tie a whole bunch of stuff together?
No,
that's the next.
I thought
movie. I heard that.
That's the next one.
So there's supposed to be a Mando.
That's what we're guessing.
No, a Mando, Ahsoka, Thrawn movie is supposed to be like the Avengers team up Endgame kind of thing, and that's what I was saying I wanted for 2027, which was essentially be like a portion of Heir to the Empire, but like we still have to do Ahsoka season 2, which is not coming until 2026. So the earliest you could even get started on that movie would probably be 27. I think
this movie is what we are getting instead of another season or 2 of the Mandalorian.
That's exactly what it is. I think they adapted season 4.
We're having a hard time getting everybody lined up to do the show for that long, and they were getting a lot of polling that people love Grogu and their kids want to know what Grogu is, but they don't want to subscribe to Disney Plus just to get it. So the movie theater is a way to get people who are not TV subscribers to get a chance to get in on the Grogu money manufacturing.
But they're gonna have to subscribe to Disney Plus after they see it anyway. I mean, their kids are gonna see Grogu and go bonkers. Like, I want more. Like, well, there you go. You're gonna have to subscribe anyway.
I don't know. That must have been part of the decision making money with Disney because I was legit mad I wasn't getting another season of Mando.
Well, I think they also took some of the ideas from that Rangers show and rolled that in.
Oh, sure.
So like, there's some of those streams. I didn't mean to click that. So that's Babu Frick and the other Fricks from episode 9, along with I love these guys. Grogu looking big.
I do too.
And then I just love this picture of Jon Favreau with Sigourney Weaver. I'm a huge fan of hers. You know, my cats are named
Me
Ripley
too.
and Hicks.
I love her.
You know, we love Alien and everything else.
She's the Rogue Squadron movie we didn't get. It's as close as we're ever gonna get.
Yeah. Or Starfighter. We don't know. Okay. I had to put in this picture because Pedro.
Stole Dave's hat.
The boots, you can really see him in this picture because at first I saw a cropped photo of just his shirt and I was like, oh, what a stupid shirt. And then I see the whole outfit and I was like, what the hell? And then the hat, that's Dave's hat that he ended up wearing for a little while. And you know he's a thief. Like he stole that minifig. Like he's one of those where he tried to escape with the hat, is my understanding.
Yeah.
But Liberty, you're correct. We need Hot Callus if we're going to do this movie.
Yep.
And yeah, just Pedro ... could be anything right now. Like he is just he's really having his moment. And then right after the
that was really cool
panel, there's Jeff right behind Sigourney and John.
Oh, that's great.
He sent us a little video of her turning around and blowing kisses right at him because he shouted, "We love you, Sigourney." So,
She's
that was really cute.
And there's Jeff on the live stream. Everyone is having their times of life right now. So it is.
That is such a great place to be in Celebration is around the live stage. I mean, we got the day that we were in Chicago, we did a lot of time right around there, and that's it's
bounced
such
up and down, yelling and screaming.
You and thousands of your closest friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
Yep.
This was the first one I haven't been to in a little while because once I started as a licensee at Topps, I went to Celebration 2015 and worked that show. We had a 10x10 booth. Where we hocked our little trading cards. And then 2017 was Orlando, where my company planned the autograph hall because we had just picked up that license after Official Picks left that contract. I didn't plan that, but I was involved in a lot of it. And then in 2019, it was Chicago, and I planned that autograph hall. And then I was working on 2020, which we all know what happened then. And so then Anaheim 2022, I was with Rubies and had relaunched a new Onovo, the former license from Onovos. So I was in Anaheim just getting yelled at for 3 straight days.
Oh my!
Waiting on that mess, as I'm trying to make helmets.
I wonder if AJ knows that you work for Onovos because he might have a conversation with you about.
Yep.
And
I got to clarify. So Onovos had the license for, I think I talked to him about this. Onovos had the license for high-end Star Wars helmets, collectibles, all that kind of stuff for like 10 years or something. It was a long time. And then starting in like 2015, which was, I think, the contract cycle after Disney took over when it was no longer Lucasfilm, right? Like there were a few years, and I remember seeing it happen at Celebration 15 where a lot of licensees were saying that was their last year with the brand because they weren't going to be continuing as Disney licensees. So once that changed and the new trilogy started, Onovos started taking pre-orders and then started just not delivering product.
Oh, yeah.
And it got really bad. They eventually lost the license in 2020. They didn't actually file for bankruptcy and they didn't go out of business until a couple of years later. But because they had things other than Star Wars, but they lost the Star Wars license in 2020. At that point, my company, Rubies, which had just gotten bought by Joel Weinschenker, who owns NECA, in 2021, I started working there and we took on that license because we had other Star Wars contracts. And as part of the contract negotiation, we said that we would fulfill the back order that was left behind by Onovos if we could get all of their files, including like the 3Ds and find out who their factories are and all that kind of shit. So for 4 years now, I've been fulfilling a back order of about 100 products, thousands of customers, thousands of units of items. It's crazy. And it took this long. We actually just finished our back order a few weeks ago. Like that's how long it's taken. But if you are owed something, I probably have it in stock still because not everyone has claimed their helmets.
I'm owed a Scout Trooper helmet.
Had a helmet.
Actually, I'm owed 3 Scout Trooper helmets. So
let me know what you have the most of, and that's the one I ordered.
Yeah, I have an Excel file with everyone's info, including emails. But let me tell you, people don't reply to their emails. I was shocked because 1, it looks like a scam, and then 2, in Anaheim, people came to meet me to be like, "You stole my money," and I was like, "You can look at my LinkedIn. I did not work here like 5 years ago." But not only that, like we're not the same company, but we will get you a helmet eventually. So after rebuilding all of that, and oh my god, the memes of just like our company, they really are just Onovos, et cetera, we're finally out of that. And actually, right now we're at Celebration with a QR code on a banner. We're not there, but this is the first one I missed because I went to Anaheim and then went to London, and then this year work didn't send me, but we have like a big poster board as part of the Droid scavenger hunt where you can like scan the QR and go get a deal on our website.
Sweet.
So that's fun.
Cool.
But yeah, oh my god, we have to talk, JT, about all things Onovos.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, here's Spencer in the crowd as well. That's also from yesterday. He's been near the stage quite a bit. And they're all the Will Rohuds. Is that right? Yeah. All the ice cream maker
Yep.
Cantonos.
Yeah.
Yep. Running of the hoods.
Good stuff.
Really good.
I want to get some pictures of the running of the Andor prisoners.
Yeah.
Also, we wanted to put in some of the celebrity sightings that we saw. Obviously, Hayden Christensen was there doing press, in theory, for the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, but also because he's kind of their headline signer along with Diego Luna. And we assume he's going to be in Ahsoka season 2. I think that, and it was his birthday. That was the other big
birthday,
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I just say that the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith is wildly underrepresented at this celebration?
I agree with you.
That is such a bummer. They've done
Yeah.
such a great job of the anniversaries of these films at Celebration, and now like my favorite movie of all time is Revenge of the Sith. So I'm a little it's a little personal to me, but
yep.
Yeah, oh, I love it. And I'm like,
Number one.
why is there not, where's the big panel for it? Like, where's all the branding about it and the special stuff and, you know, the Lego sets, and it's, oh man, I just think it's such a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. It's super
I'm guessing
frustrating.
it's because they couldn't get Ewan McGregor. You can't have episode 3 if you don't have both of them.
Well, they never
I
have.
don't know otherwise.
They never have Padme. I mean,
Oh, she'll never do that
no,
again. as far as I know.
Natalie is not coming back for anything. If that Thor movie were a giant hit and everyone loved it, it would be a different story.
Maybe she would. Yeah.
But Hayden did do.
That's my. I mean, I agree with you completely, but that's my guess is that that's why they couldn't do it. And people were like, "Oh, I hope he's there. I hope he's there." I'm like, bruh, he has a newborn. He has a child that is under a year old. I guarantee you, his new wife is not letting him fly halfway around the world to Japan under no circumstances. And I could be wrong. I mean, maybe we'll have a big surprise visit here. But I was like, nope.
Well,
no.
Think about who else is in that cast from episode 3 that's usually at a celebration. When's the last time you didn't see Ian McDermott at one of these events?
Yeah.
That's weird. Matthew Wood is not there. Oh, wait, no, he's there.
Is he?
No, he's not there. There's a bunch of people just not there for some reason, which is really
I
strange.
think my guess is that, you know, when you have a big production like this, Lucasfilm is going to pay to fly some people out. And so they had to pick and choose. As expensive as it was, if you're offering to fly them or offering to help cover their hotel costs or whatever, they're not going to bring in the people from a 20-year-old movie. They're going to bring in the people from all the new stuff, trying to get attention and hype for that. That's all I can come up with.
Well, and honestly, like you just said, I mean, Ian McDermott's not there. You don't have Ewan McGregor. And when you think of this movie, you're thinking Anakin, Obi-Wan, Emperor. You know, and if you only have one of those three, that makes a lot of sense as to why they might not be doing that.
Yeah. And I mean, and it's not like they're going to be willing to just hop on a plane. You know, it's not like you're flying even just to the other end of the country. Tickets to Japan aren't cheap, and most people are not going to want to come up out of their pocket for that if Disney won't put the bill.
Yeah.
Well, Reed Pop would be paying for the autographing and, you know, photo op guests, but Disney would pay for the press guests. And so that's what's weird is that, I guess, you know, because you could get Matthew Wood to sign and Ian McDermott. Like, we paid for Ian McDermott and Matthew Wood and Ahmed Best and everyone for the
going on cheap, huh?
It all depends on who. I'll say yes. But we'll see. It is a tight guest list, right? Like, it's a very, very tight guest list. All right.
Especially for something as big as this. Yeah. So
here's Hayden doing photo ops, so that's exciting.
Oh, I want that T-shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, I want that shirt.
That's good, right?
Oh, I want that shirt. In fact, I should change my background. Let's do that.
Go for it.
We've had the celebration background. It's time to update here. Let's see if I can.
Flip it.
I just love that art too much.
Well, I was reading a post in the Facebook group for Celebration.
Oh yes.
They'd been waiting at the Hayden Christensen photo op for 4 hours.
No, there's supposed to be times for that kind of stuff.
He was stuck at autographs that whole time.
Well, somebody posted on the VCN
autographs to go to pictures because he had that long line behind it.
And somebody posted on the VCN Facebook page not like 20 minutes ago or half hour ago that they got a letter saying that they accidentally oversold Hayden and canceled his order.
Oh no.
Yeah.
For a photo op?
Yeah, for the photo op and
We did not do any of that when I was in charge. I'll just say that. And
look,
it happens. It didn't happen to me, but it does happen.
That's rough. Wow.
Oh yeah.
That comes out really well, JC. It looks like you have Vader's helmet on.
I thought about that when I set this up earlier. I was like, this is gonna look awesome. I gotta make sure to stay in the center, like
don't
myself the whole time.
Engage the core. Stay still.
So get the mic over here. There we go. There we go.
Most excellent.
Nice.
Oh, they just brought bubble wrap out. Okay, on the live stage. Someone made a
boy.
comment that Anthony Daniels is a national treasure. Wrap him in bubble wrap. So they just bought a giant roll of bubble wrap out onto the stage, and he is currently wrapping himself up in it.
I definitely
Alright.
agree that we should wrap him in plastic.
Okay, sister, dial
Yeah.
the snark back. Dial the snark back. This is
Um,
a family-friendly show.
Exactly. So continuing down our celebrity list, there's
Okay.
Daniel Logan. Young
Oh my
Boba Fett.
goodness! I did not
I know he's like a
recognize
fully
him.
grown adult now.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy. I love Daniel Logan. I've actually spent quite a bit of quality time with him when we've done like events
I
and
heard
stuff,
he's
and he's
great.
just
Yeah.
fantastic. He
He's
always
so
brings the party
wonderful.
too. If you get a chance to meet him, he is someone to meet at a show. And then this is my queen over
There
here.
she is, my girl. My girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Hera. I love Vanessa. I love the
Well,
character.
this is art that was drawn by my co-host Ashley.
Hmm.
She actually that was a
Yeah,
commissioned
it's
piece
gorgeous.
for Spencer. They had Ashley do it, and then Spencer went and shared it with her, with Vanessa at Ceebration, and told her all about it. And she said it was
awesome.
incredible. So
We had Vanessa on Rebels Revisited, and I have a feeling we're going to be talking to her again later this summer at some point because Pot of Rebellion is
I was
unreal.
gonna say she
I
liked
think
coming
she
on
should
your
have-
show so much. She got
She
the
should
same-
invite you
yeah,
to come
I
on
think
her pod.
I mean, that's what I said. I'm already packing my bags and heading over there. Like, I'll go in studio. No, her and Taylor, and we're going to see Taylor at some point this summer too. I'm sure. Like we're working things, and let me tell you, they're just all fantastic. That whole Rebels crew, there's something so magical and special about them. And Rebels Extended over here. This is David Eckstein.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
for the boys, you guys know who he is, right?
Yeah, go
Yes.
go Indians / Guardians.
Okay.
Go
So
go
Kiss,
pack
kiss,
your
kiss.
car, Eckstein.
I always remind people all the time I worked at Topps, right, baseball company. So at some point, we were going through our list of signers, and the name Ashley Eckstein comes up, and someone says to me, Ashley, and it was one of the baseball guys, Ashley Eckstein, is that someone she related to David? And I'm like, David Eckstein? And they're like, and I'm like, yeah, that's David Eckstein is her husband, and they're like, oh, David Eckstein is like a World Series MVP baseball player. And I was like, you mean Ashley Eckstein's husband plays baseball? Like, that's how far removed. And they're like, they didn't know who Ashley Eckstein was because in the baseball world, like, she was some voice actress on Star Wars. But
the
like,
cute blonde that shows
different-
up with her husband. Yeah.
yeah. And so, and they had different agents too, because he's of course a baseball guy and she's a media guy. So, but cards would go to the same place. So at one point they thought there was a mistake with like the addresses. Like, why are both the Ecksteins going to the same location? Yes, they are related. They are married. So yes.
I had the same thing on an intro of our show. We have Joseph Williams, who's the lead singer of Toto, and he does the intro to the Nerf Herder Council. But he says, instead of being like, yeah, I'm the lead singer of Toto, because he's like, yeah, I'm Joseph Williams, son of John Williams. And so it's like, yeah, instead of mentioning, I don't know, like one of the most influential rock bands in history, it's oh, my dad did the Star Wars music. So it's like that's how nerdy we get in this community.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And I will say David Eckstein has done a good job like integrating himself into the nerddom and the faddom. So
my God, who got that picture?
Manny Jacinto in our gear. This is very cool. So Spencer gifted him this shirt. I think Spencer has a ticket to every autograph and every photo op. So I don't know if he's dying in a line somewhere.
Is he sleeping ever? Is he
no, I don't think Kathy's letting him. Kathy has a very regiment. So
other.
Kathy's our events director, JT, and she is like keeping Spencer on. Sarah, what was the word for the handler? Like,
she's his executive assistant. His exec.
Exactly.
That's the word. His exec.
That's a military term.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yep. She's Clea, basically, from Andor that keeps Lucian in line. That's what she's doing.
That's what Jason is for me. Like, he literally brought me coffee before because I was like, I forgot to brew the coffee. So, and there's Mads. Looking good. John Knoll. Very cool. And we try to put up as many pictures as we can from across the Facebook page. So tag me if you want me to find something easily, or send it to me directly, and we'll put it up. But yeah, there's Alan Tudyk, who was just on the panel for Andor, looking great. And then Sam Witwer, who is going to have his own little segment in a second, and Donald Wall, because how funny is that? But the Sam Witwer photos were looking great. Like he looked like he was having a great time.
He's not grimacing or nothing. That's awesome.
He's thrilled. He gets his own. Because here we go, the Darth Maul show. Who saw this one coming?
No. I mean, when I woke up and I
Let
saw
the
that.
man
In fact,
rest in peace. For heaven's sake.
that's the picture I saw. It was great.
I love it. I love it. It's. I
Yeah.
mean, but there wasn't enough of him to begin with, and then they did have him back in Clone Wars and stuff. But it's like, you know what? Let's just focus something on him and get all the Maul.
Yeah,
So,
all the Maul.
In my house, they were looking at it, and my youngest son was here, and he looked at it. He's like, "Oh, Mom's not going to be happy about that."
I think George Lucas has made two great decisions with Maul. One is he killed off the big scary character in Episode 1, which has a catalyst everything from Anakin to Obi-Wan. You know, we don't know at that time about Dooku and where we're going. He's brave enough to do that. And then he's brave enough to bring him back. Because he knows there's fans like my wife who's like, wait a minute, he was cut in half.
Against Dave's wishes. Against Dave's wishes. I mean, Dave Filoni fought him on it for that. Say you can't do that. And then George is like,
and
he's like, okay, you're George Lucas. Yes, you can do that.
Maul has become one of these. You know, he's instrumental in so many ways. He's got a lot of beats throughout. Whether it's his fight against Kanan, whether it's at his impact to Ezra, his impact to Ahsoka. And now we're going to see him, in the underworld.
Crimson Sun. Yeah.
Crimson. I hope they show that.
I hope so too.
That whole thing,
they have to. Well, I hope so because I mean that was one of the best parts about the whole Solo and storyline and how it connected to Clone Wars season 7. That final arc and everything. That would be a very interesting story.
Yeah.
I will say that much at least. Yeah.
So this was announced at the animation panel, and there's Sam looking amazing as ever.
Fierce.
That man really is a vampire.
Fierce. Yeah, he really is.
He looks incredible. Yeah. That's the hair I want to have, and mine is not doing what his is doing. So it's super frustrating. But they bathed the stage in red, and they did it for his interview on the Star Wars stage as well.
Yeah,
and he just took over.
And he brought his the producer over. He brought his VP over and just gushed on great. Her. Yeah. And I loved that. That was really amazing, that he'd been working with her for years, and he said he was like, it's like working for a Sith Lord. That she was just fierce and crazy and determined and
and that's how he is.
The dynamic between the two of them. I've never seen anybody out Sith Sam Witwer, but she did, and she did it quietly and frighteningly, and it was amazing.
Yeah, Athena.
Yes,
Athena, that was her name. Yeah, so if you get a chance, definitely go look at that because he's being his nerdy little Star Wars self and gushing and having fun and super excited and
If you go
he won me over. I don't want to like the character, but his enthusiasm is catching, and there's no way I'm not going to watch it. So
well, of course we're going to definitely watch. We'll have a wraparound show and all that stuff on the network. Don't you worry. If you
JB can take over that one.
I'm there.
Find people. The Star Wars YouTube channel has little clips of everything like broken up into digestible chunks, and there's one with Athena and Sam that was very good, and that's when his entrance is all they like redid all the lighting in the room and everything was red and scary, and of course he's Sam, he knows everything about everything. So
Jason set me up for this because he did the little clip about the retrospective of animation and where it started and where it's going and all that, and it just talks about this poster and it has all these interviews, and I'm like, oh gosh, it's so amazing, I can't believe it's been 20 years.
20 years.
Oh, what are they doing? I'm like, Bad Batch has been over for. I'm like, what are they doing? What's next? And I can feel his look. I can feel him giving me side eye. And he's like, do you want to know? And I'm in my pajamas. I'm in my coffee. I have a doctor's appointment this morning. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Right before I go. And then he puts the ball thing up, and I'm like, oh, come on, man, seriously.
So excited.
That's it. I gotta leave. But yeah.
Hasbro is busy costing me another $150 on the live stage as we speak.
Wait, are they there now?
Oh yeah.
It's the 852. Yeah.
Oh, that Death Trooper helmet is so badass and it lights up.
Sick.
Mine's better. It is replica and way more expensive.
Look, Mark, we all don't have access to that. I should have 3 Scout Trooper helmets in my collection.
That you own from Anovo secretly. Yeah.
There we go.
I will say that actually looks really good. That's a Black Series, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
So theirs is probably 150. The replicas at Denuo Nova run 700. Look, it's not the same
Right.
market. I'm not losing people to the 150.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, their stuff is great, and we're going to talk about a bunch of Hasbro stuff coming up. I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying anything bad about Hasbro, because I actually love them. And full
I love this poster.
transparency.
Can we get this Lucas Generation poster?
I know, if someone could get this for me, yeah, I would die.
Really bad.
Also, posts like that are actually specifically like not permitted on the page, because people have been asking to like get stuff for them,
Well, I
and we're
didn't
like
mean
not
at
allowing.
Celebration. I just meant later. Is there somewhere the rest of us could get a hold of it? I'm not
Believe me, I've
soliciting
had
for
to
free
stop
stuff.
myself to be like, someone get one for me, and it's like you're literally not allowing those posts from anyone.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, the mods are going crazy. But yes, this poster looks amazing, and I had to zoom in on Zeb and Callus, who were put together. So,
Well,
and I guess one of the bad batches too.
Yeah, that's Hunter.
That is Hunter.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole thing right there.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Look, thruples are very in right now,
I'm
mostly
saying.
because people can't afford rent. I think less of a lifestyle choice and more of an economic decision.
But I'll tell you what, the announcement of the mall show made this whole Tales of the Underworld make a whole lot more sense.
Yes,
because I was sort of surprised when they dropped it. I was like, really? That's what we're doing? Where did this come
I
from?
thought we did Tales of the Bounty Hunters after we did the others.
Well, I mean, if you're out there working, how Mall ends up running an entire crime syndicate, then of course you're going to end up with these kind of stories and stuff like that.
That man has had so many jobs. He was like King of Mandalore. Now he's a Sith
and he can't
Lord.
keep him. And he
No,
can't
he's
keep
terrible.
him. He keeps getting his behind fired. I mean, like I said, let the man rest in peace. Oh, we want to kill him in the best scene ever. Let it just go. Let it go.
Well, this is the big question, right? Is Barbie someone who is incredibly skilled, or does she get fired from every job she's ever had? I think like the truth with Maul is somewhere in the middle as well, where it's like, he's had quite the life. He's lived a million lives.
And Sam said that turns out Dave Filoni's been keeping secrets.
Yeah.
That he and George had been working out details and information about Maul that make sense with what he's been through and what he's gone through, but they had not before previously released that information. So,
can I make a big swing speculation, and it ties to Ahsoka season 2?
Yes, because that probably means you'll be wrong.
Yeah. Oh, my husband just said, "Oh my God," off camera, so he can hear me. All right, we're going to Mortis in season 2. Anakin is the father. That was already sort of revealed to him in the Mortis arc in Clone Wars. So I think that Hayden Christensen will show up and play the father.
But can't he be the father when he's dead?
No, well, that's the thing. His ghost and whatever. Like, it's going to be like, I know he like appeared to Ahsoka in the World Between Worlds, and I know that was Anakin. But I do think when we get to Mortis, like the Mortis father will be Anakin. Related to that, I think the Mortis son will once again be played by Sam Witwer in live action, and I think it'll actually be Darth Maul. Like, I think Darth Maul's journey is leading him to this point to be the embodiment of evil. And that's how he's been able to iterate so many times over here. Related to that, I think Ashley Eckstein is going to show up as the Mortis daughter.
As the daughter.
And, like, join on live action on screen to talk to Rosario Dawson just for a minute. Like, just to be like, yeah, I'm the daughter, and so are you, because Ahsoka is one with the daughter. And here are the two slices at the moment. And when you finally, like, die, whatever that means, you're going to be here. Like... And I think that's it. Jason thinks it's the stupidest thing he's ever heard. There's a lot there.
So many straws. You are great. You're the guy who's like, I don't need those Easter eggs, and you're literally pulling from every basket that has ever existed everywhere and trying to cram them into this poor little show that was already terribly written in the first season. Sweetie, come on. Oh,
I know there's a lot there. Look, Ashley and I are aligned. Not Eckstein, Ashley Brienzo. I haven't spoken to Ashley Eckstein.
I can get behind it. I could, right? You would.
We're going to Mortis. Like, full stop, right? We're going to Mortis.
Yeah, but Anakin's already dead. The whole point was the father was alive and looking for somebody to take over for him. He can't be the father if he's already dead.
No, I think he can. I think that's how you transcend into Mortis. It's an afterlife.
But they killed him.
Yeah. All right. Sherry agreed with me. She said plausible. That's enough. Yes. Correct, Sherry.
Sherry.
I'm taking the swing now because it's nuts, right? And Jason hates everything about it. He is literally laughing in the other room. He says that he's like, Ashley Eckstein's not going to be in this show. Sam Witwer's not going to be in this show. Hayden Christensen is not going to be the father. Not all that crap is happening. This is bad screenwriting from like a high school student. And I was like, I know.
Mark, it's the same tortured thing that they did with Sabine at the beginning of Ahsoka. This is what Tony Gilroy was talking about when writers start dipping their characters' IQs and taking these wild swings in the dirt and torturing and twisting their characters to make them do whatever they need the writing to do.
Oh,
If
that's the
what
bad
they
one.
do-
She'll swap me.
if that's what they do with Mortis, I'm going to be mad. I want new people. I want new, amazing people in there. I want another Balin Score type person. I want a new Shin. I want other amazing people in there that are pulled
I agree with
off.
that.
I
And
want
we'll
to.
find out today, like on the Ahsoka panel,
Yeah.
what else is coming, because there's a lot. And actually just wanted to show some of the cosplayers. You can see a bunch of Ahsokas on stage. That was at the
Love
animation
it.
panel as well.
Oh wow!
So good.
And the
I'm
Clone
working
Wars
on a
comes
better
back.
Ezra than I had at Rhode Island Comic Con for Texas. So for Rebel Scum Con, I want to be like full Ezra, and Colin, who's going to actually pop in on Sunday, who did my costume for me.
You finally got him to do that! Yay!
Yeah, he is helping. He's the best. All right. So speaking of animation, this was the other thing that was announced. There's another season of the Young Jedi Adventures coming. Which how
Yeah,
cute
season
is this?
3.
And they have Nubs like out there. Like you can go meet Nubs, which like he seems to be the star of the show. Like over at Celebration, like everyone's loving meeting Nubs.
Of course they do.
I love seeing this because I was such a huge fan when I was a kid of the Saturday morning cartoons with C-3PO and R2-D2, the Ewok cartoons. I mean, that was a big part of my childhood when those were coming out. So the fact to see this and carry on, and Star Wars continues that. This is High Republic 2, which I think is a great part of the story to play in. So
Yeah, I'm glad something from the High Republic era is continuing to exist, unlike poor Acolyte.
Ugh,
So.
yeah,
I
no,
know.
I'm with you.
And then apparently there was a full orchestra for A New Hope. How fun is that?
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
I've seen that before. I think I've seen 5 of the movies in that format,
Wow.
and it's unfreaking believable. If you've never done it, oh my god, if you get a chance, go see it. Yeah. Oh, it's like seeing a movie in 3D.
Yeah.
Orally, like AUR, like it's like it's just such an incredible experience.
We did that with the Fellowship of the Ring.
We did.
And they actually
That would be a good one too. Yeah.
They had huge chains that they actually were like beating like chung chung when you had the orcs running through and everything. And you're like, oh my god, they used actual chains. So I can only imagine. I think I would just be a hot sobbing mess the whole time with A New Hope. I think that would get me right in the feels.
Yeah, it's the only bummer is it's like they're usually like in a an orchestra house. And so you can't just like everyone like well, I can't say everyone, but a lot of people are wearing their Star Wars gear.
Sure.
But you can't do the whole when it hits you're cheering because you have to be all prim and proper and whatnot. And,
Star Wars golf clap.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
I love it.
So, but it's an excellent way to experience the movies for sure.
I have a little breaking news over here. There's a Old Republic video game that they're showing on the live stream right now.
Yeah.
Legacy of the Sith. That looks new. I can't figure out what's actually happening, but this looks really cool. It's happening on the live stage right now. So the Star Wars: The Old Republic Legacy of the Sith. And it'll download free swtor.com.
Oh wow.
That's cool. Yeah. Breaking news.
It's probably just a demo,
I got to check it out. I'm a terrible gamer, as you guys know. I say it all the time. I watch people play. Like I'll go to Twitch or something or YouTube, but yeah.
I'm terrible, but I love it, man.
Also,
like I can't wait to get to the Outlaws stuff later. So
yes, we
Agreed.
definitely have to talk
Yes.
Outlaws. So I do want to put up Aubrey's comment that she agrees
Sarah.
that she wants to see new people. So Aubrey, we are also no longer friends. Just want you to know.
Aubrey, Sarah, and Jason against Mark and the other and JB.
Always. But no, I agree with you, Sarah. Like we need original characters, and I was saying that about Andor the other day. How I don't want the parade of Easter eggs just because Ahsoka and Bail and everyone else are alive and well during that time frame. I'm more interested in what's going to happen to Bix and what's going to happen on Ferrix and who all these new people, Denise Go's character, Kyle's character, like all these people that we've met and fallen in love with or love to hate. I need to know what happens to them because guess what? Like I already know what happens to Tarkin and Krennic and everyone.
Oh, we've already got 12 episodes and we already know, it's probably not going to end well. So don't waste my time bringing in characters from other places that don't need to be. And I fingers crossed, I am just so impressed with Tony Gilroy. I don't think he's going to do it. He doesn't.
I think it's going to be great. Yeah, he's
I
not
don't
going to.
think that's not really his style. I don't think he would let that happen unless it was vitally important for the story. And
Right.
I don't see that being the case. I mean, maybe a brief brush with Mon Mothma with Bail Organa in the Senate House, like she kind of had in episode 3. You know, like there was a little scene because it actually advances the story, or maybe it's part of when maybe there's a big like to do between the two of them when she finally breaks off and goes to run away and join the rebellion. And he's still there, or maybe he goes home. Maybe we see why he goes home to Alderaan, and he happens to be there when it blows. You know,
Yeah, something like that would probably
something
make
like
sense.
that. Yeah, you know,
I don't even
that
need
little
it.
bit that just twists the tragedy knife a little bit, brings it home a little more. That I could get behind.
We got some of that in Rogue One, but honestly, I think we're good. I did want to show some of the cosplayers and ambiance from throughout the show, and we're going to go through these like relatively quickly. I mean, that's straight out of the Christmas special. Love it.
That's insane.
A lot of Jedi. I couldn't put all of them in here, but there's a lot of Jedi robes, and they're really well done too. A lot of droids roaming around. High Republic characters. Look at that Jackie.
Look at
man.
that's great, High Republic.
Those are fantastic. I mean, I knew
Gorgeous.
as soon as they announced Japan, I knew the cosplay was going to be off the hook. These people are dedicated.
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna try to put in even more
Ooh,
tomorrow.
Look at that.
Shin
Look at
Hati
What's up?
and Plo Koon. What does the little flag next to my name mean? Why am I flagged? Aubrey, did I do that? I didn't do anything. Is there a flag next to your name? Don't worry about it. We'll have to check. And Sherry, I think you're right that there's going to be some mentions of characters. There'll be name drops, I think, like they always do in Star Wars. They love to connect everyone. There's a galaxy of like billions of people, and the same 40 people all know each other.
They all know each other.
I love this gender bend Kanan. I didn't see a lot of rebels, which is why I got to really make my Ezra work. Like I need to be the Ezra. I realize that I'm like Ezra's dad now, but like still, I feel like if I get my hair done right, like put on my moisturizer, I can fake it.
I think it works.
That chopper is terrific, and then we've got our. Yeah, so good. And apparently you can, I don't know if that's the one you can get on top of, but there are pictures of people like riding the dewback somewhere. So I don't know where that's happening. And then there's always one.
Always one. I mean, that's
yeah.
Unfortunately, half the time it's Will Wheaton, but we'll let that slide. We still love him anyway.
And then I have to, if I were going to go shopping in one place, it's kind of here, right? Like the House of Grogu. Like I haven't seen a bunch of the merch yet. I'm going to try to get more pictures as people continue to like put them up on the Facebook page because there's just so many product shots. But then I do have some space in here for Hasbro. I'm dying over my little Cobb Vanth over there, like very cute. We've got our Night Sister Marin, and then I mean this Dak Rendar looks spectacular.
Yeah.
But this was the win. I mean, look at this. That mustache. I don't know what to do with this.
What? And the mullet, like what is
handlebars and mullet? Okay.
I played the hell out of that game, and I customized my Cal. I can tell you one look I did not give my Cal. The mullet, the mullet, and the
mullet, the handlebars.
He should have come with at least like 6 or 7 ponchos. Like that's my only, you know. Cameron Monaghan loves a poncho, and I do think we'll eventually see him in live action.
Well, they just need to make a Lando line of poncho accessories that you can buy, like the Barbie clothes, you know, and then just have little hangers to hang them up, and you can dress up your cow.
I like it. I wonder how everyone is dealing, though, with the tariffs and everything on all this kind of stuff, because I'm sure it's like not affecting like this show, but the go forward stuff, like. I mean, we have to.
Okay, so really interestingly, I got an email from CD Japan, which I have actually ordered things from before. And they specifically said that the tariffs are not affected on anything that's under $800. So I don't, because it's coming from Japan and not China. So I thought that was really interesting. So I don't know if that's going to affect things here. I'm really curious about that too. I have no idea. So.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have, I know on Denuo right now, we're holding our prices, at least at the moment, but I have stuff that's on pre-order that if the tariffs hold, they will likely be going up in price like considerably, which is really disappointing. So we have to figure that out. Nothing to announce right now, but it sucks. Meanwhile, Jason, my husband, wanted one thing in the entire convention, and it was this, because we need more vinyl.
Absolutely.
But he said if anyone could buy this for him, to get it for him. And I was like, you can't post that on the page. They won't let you. But I figured I'd put it in the deck because it was the one piece of merch that he actually specifically called out. And it looks pretty cool.
What is it?
It's a vinyl set of like all the soundtracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, multi-vinyl set.
Oh.
Because we don't have it digitally.
Yeah.
But then I also wanted us to, screen cap all the swag that people are getting with the stickers.
I really like that. The Mount Fuji with the Death Star. That's really neat.
Cool. There's a
Very
lot
pretty.
of that, like Red Death Star kind of stuff, like just kind of everywhere, which is really amazing.
Mhm.
And then just a shout out to Topps, my former employer. The Star Wars Card Trader app has a whole bunch of new stuff, including some Darth Maul. And some
25 years
Ahsoka.
of Maul. Get ready to add on to that number.
Yeah, girl, it'll never end. There's a list of
fun.
panels, and then just a reminder that we lost JT. Did he?
Oh, no.
I didn't
Nope.
press anything, did I?
You did. You totally outed him.
I've had
Eject
enough
button.
of you.
Eject. No, I'm just kidding.
We didn't
Wait,
lose-
come back, JT.
Where's the?
We definitely need the adult in the room. So
I'm just double checking that he's not. Can I add him back to stage?
There we go.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
it's
did I lose you?
No, I'm trying to put on my out of office here real quick, and I don't know
And
what
you
the heck.
put
it's doing.
yourself out of
You
the
were
office,
out.
right?
You were
Out.
definitely
just-
out of
just
office.
get right
Yeah,
out.
and now I'm all green. Now I'm all green.
It's all good.
Look at this. This is not.
Oh,
good.
you guys, I'm so excited. Oh, only a couple more days. Am I
know,
allowed to dodge spoilers between now and then?
you will try.
Shut
I
up.
mean, you
Shut up,
will,
shut up,
you
shut
will stay off your phone. I mean, Spencer said they, they
That's
saw the
ridiculous.
first episode and his only word was "wow." So, yeah.
I'm gonna leave the studio real quick and come back in just to see if this will get my stupid green screen working. Because I look dumb.
Oh, it's all good.
One of the toys collectibles that I saw that I'm excited for is the K2SO Lego set. So, I mean, 845 pieces. Sarah's shaking her head. Now, in all fairness, Sarah did not get the chopper or has not gotten the chopper one yet. So
We have no room. We have nowhere to put them.
I can find something
4-foot
back here.
ghost and 6 figurines with fairy lights around it in the corner of my basement. I have no
You can
room
put K2SO
for Lego
on there.
droids. No.
That was great.
Yeah, I think it's been a really amazing like first day, and now as the second day is starting, everyone's like, okay, what now? But also I feel like there's like a crash of it all where it's like, oh my god, there's so much to take in, and now I do want to shop. Like that K2SO look cool. I'm excited about the chopper Lego. I don't think I'm actually gonna do it, but
I love it.
I think
I
it's
still have an N1 Starfighter I got to put together. I've got my
Yep.
Razor Crest. Because that's what Jason bought me for our anniversary one year, right before they blew it up.
Aubrey, 100%. That cherry blossom Darth Vader.
yes.
I saw them highlighting that yesterday. Wow.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think from a merch perspective if I have a favorite so far. I do need a Cobb Vanth for sure. I didn't see any new Rebels merch really, but I would be on the lookout for that. I mean, we knew about the chopper for a minute already. I will say, as much as that Cal Kestis looked really silly, I still kind of want it, but and then I'm sure you could get a customized poncho from somewhere. Like I'm sure that's doable.
Oh, they're showing a
Yep.
ILM T-shirt on the live stage right now that says ILM 50,
Oh,
1975 to 2025.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And the 50th
I
of
don't
Star
know.
Wars is 77, but yeah,
I don't know if
ILM
that's
75.
available to the general public, but there it is.
Yeah, that's the
Just
question. Right
scan
now.
the code to shop, so that would be a pretty amazing piece of merch right there.
I think
Well, yeah,
they said, didn't they say that the merch, a lot of the merch is live on Amazon today? I thought I saw that
Oh,
somewhere.
interesting.
Really? Oh wow.
Yeah, I read that
didn't
in one of
know
the
that.
articles or something.
Oh yeah, there's an Amazon store that
Wow.
I think a lot of the merch is on. I'm trying to put up the new slides.
I haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure I read that they were Hasbro's doing a figure from Star Wars Visions: The Duel.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because they're going to show a couple episodes in the panel, and that they were going to
Visions?
do a
Yeah.
Ronin. They were
And-
going to do a
and if-
Ronin figure.
And Visions 3, of course, that is, talk about that is Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting.
Yeah.
here
Ashley doesn't
we
know it
go.
yet, but that's what we're doing after Andor.
Yes.
We're doing Vision
Agreed.
season 2, all the women-centered episodes, so we can line up and
There's a
get
lot
ready
of
for
them.
Vision.
There's a lot of good
season
ones.
Yeah.
3. Wow, Well-Roll Hoods, nice.
Look at that.
I have to get better pictures for tomorrow.
People have just
obviously we'll be
resorted
able
to ice cream carriers rather than actual Chemtone.
If you don't have a Cantono, the
Yep.
Mando Cantono is actually really cool. I forget who makes that
Mhm.
replica. Here are some pictures from the Andor season 2 panel stage. Look at how good everyone looks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Amazing. Yeah.
what a fun crew. And yeah, it's just they're obviously watching the first episode now, so I'm sure we'll get like feedback as to what that's all about. But
Mhm.
I'm so excited. And then there was a little clip that they showed of
nice.
there's Alan in his like mocap suit sitting at some kind of table. It's interesting to see a
That's
droid sitting
awesome.
down, like talking to everyone.
I
It's
didn't
like, he
even
can stand.
recognize that was him. I saw him with the outfit earlier, and I'm like, "Who the heck is that?" I didn't even look. I didn't even realize that was him. That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hood run is a blast, Aubrey. I want to do the Narkina 5 run, and I am working on an official costume for that. So it'll be ready for the 50th. Pending tariffs and that the world doesn't explode. Meanwhile, look who just joined the chat. Hey,
Oh,
John.
Keanu. What's up,
So good
Keanu?
to hear from you. I hope everything is going great in Japan. It looks like everyone's having a blast.
I love that guy, man. Every time I've seen him, that guy just makes me happy. I love John. Sorry.
He is, yes, he is among our leadership crew. It's him and Spencer and Frank, and they are holding things down over there for us. I hope you guys are having fun. It looks like an amazing
Broadcasting that to
time
us.
so far.
Yeah.
Let me show the next slide from Andor. Oh, this was the reveal they just did was the Star Wars: The Old Republic Legacy of the Sith. So you can download it now for free. This was one of the clips. So I don't know enough to say anything about this. Like it just got announced. So breaking news, go check that out. You can download it. I'm not a huge gamer, but I think that'll be really fun. The other big news, and this was from a little bit earlier today, it was actually like late last night. We crossed 78,000 members.
That's
so
cool.
Really, really fun.
Welcome, everybody.
And I love the backdrop. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is
I can't believe it. That's wow. That's
everything's really taken off. Like the network has grown tremendously in the last several years. It's been quite the ride. We now have like 5 or 6 nights of programming. We have all these events that we're doing.
To even it be programming. I mean, it was just a bunch of people sitting around watching shows together during the pandemic, to have it go and morph from that to where it is now in just
to be on
4 or 5
YouTube
years.
and like have people join us on the Facebook page all the time. Like it's a blast. I know. I love it. I love what I do here.
Remember we used to do these shows on Zoom and you would get
oh my god,
do a big old tantrum when it was over. I hate Zoom. I hate Zoom. I hate Zoom.
Oh geez, it feels like 1,000 years ago, doesn't it? Just a reminder too, the family portrait happens Saturday at 4 a.m. Eastern, which I think means 5 p.m.
3
Japan
p.m.
time. So or 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Yes, 3
It's weird.
p.m.
It's weird doing 13 hours, isn't it?
I can't. Yeah, I keep messing it up. So yeah, that's coming up today. That I think that's everything from Ceebration so far. Look, it's happening right now. So once you guys are done watching us, feel free to jump over to the official Star Wars YouTube channel, listen to what's happening there. You'll get some new reveals. We'll be covering all of the news again tomorrow. Everyone will be sending us photos and
we'll be
recaps of what they heard. I got to hear all about the Andor season 2, episode 1. Like I'm going to need a full plot, like play by play,
And whatever you do, go check out the Star Wars Outlaws DLC that they announced.
We got to talk about that. Yes,
that looks so badass. Nice. I know that game is a little, I can't say controversial, but it's kind of oddly it got a little bit of mixed reviews. Personally, I love it. I had an absolute blast playing it. The cool thing to me about that game is that you can play it in little chunks. So like
Okay.
a lot of the time, like when I game, like after I get off of here, I'm gonna go just absolutely go completely down the rabbit hole of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. But like games like that, you just go and go and go and go.
Yeah.
But like Outlaws, you can take in little chunks. So I could sit
good.
down for like 20 to 30 minutes and get something accomplished to come back to it. So as a result, it was awesome because it took me several months to get through it. I mean, it was so much fun, and it's a different, experience. And there's some stuff in that game that some original trilogy throwbacks. And when it happened, I was like, oh my God, like I paused it and took pictures and sent it to my buddies. Like, look at this, man. Like, holy crap. So,
Well,
that
I'm
game was
excited
great.
because they finally announced it's coming to Nintendo, so that means I'll actually be able to play it this autumn. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's really it starts out slow, but
I'm good with slow.
Yeah,
I don't need to be barreled over in the first 5 seconds. In fact, I tend to get sensory overload, and then I fail and I flail and I tend to quit. So slow is good for me. That's my speed.
Yeah.
Slow.
Yeah, no, it's definitely like it picks up as it goes.
Cool.
And it's a really cool story. It's very different, it's from a different perspective, I should say.
Okay.
And I just had a blast with it. I'm really excited that they keep adding to it. So that was big for me to see that they're doing some new stuff for Star Wars Outlaws. So
Fabulous. Can't wait.
I'm also a terrible gamer, Sarah, so I feel your pain.
I'm
But
not
we will
terrible.
have JT.
I'm just old.
JT can be our master, and we'll be the
our glue.
Padawan.
You can be our glue. Okay.
Look,
Yeah.
I may play. That doesn't mean I'm any damn good at it. I also suck. I just like to do it. So
exactly. I'm perfectly fine with my kids just shellacking us at Mario Kart routinely.
Yeah.
I'm happy to watch and give commentary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mhm.
See, that's like one of the best games I played in the last like couple of years is the RoboCop game, because it's got a good enough challenge level to where you can get, it's like you don't feel like you're on story mode, but you're also RoboCop and you're just wasting people the whole entire game. It's like everything you always wanted to do. Like if I was RoboCop, man, it'd be cool. It's
This
like
is what I would do.
yeah, that one was a total blast as well. So, but
Cool.
yeah, highly
I'm
recommend
excited.
Star Wars Outlaws.
I haven't played a Star Wars game since Rogue Squadron back on the Super NES, GameCube.
Oh
was.
man,
Yeah.
the Cal Kestis games are fabulous.
I
They are
tried playing
fabulous.
Fallen Order, and I was so bad at it. We surrendered and then watched on YouTube. But I did buy the game, so I felt like okay about that. So,
Well,
Participated.
you know what they did
Yeah.
with those. We know what they did with those, which was brilliant. And I haven't seen another game that's done this. And I'm not super well versed in everything that's out there. But you could change the difficulty mid-game. So like I would get to an end boss, and if I just couldn't get past it, I put it on the easiest level and beat the hell out of the guy, and then change it back to the the regular difficulty I was playing on.
That
So
is
at least
really nice.
I could get through the game. So it wasn't frustrating to where you have to try it like 874 times to get past it.
I'm frantically
So-
texting my 20-year-old in college going, how do I beat this stupid boss? Give me your build. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, hitting pause, googling like Fallen Order walkthrough. How do I beat the AT-AT on the landing
I
platform?
figure I'm not technically cheating by going to Google. I just ask my kid. Like that's my workaround. Yeah. Well, if I talk to my family, it's not the same.
oh, I'm
Yep.
shameless. I'll pull up the YouTube walkthrough and be like, follow that.
This is how old
I
school
do
gamer
the
I
same
am.
thing. I do the same
I
thing.
hate
Mark.
the videos. I get mad. I'm like, I don't want the stupid videos. I want you to give me the print, like in
Yeah.
the old magazines and the
Like
old
your-
little dot matrix printouts that we used to share in the, on the. Oh God, yeah, we used to type it all up and print it all out and share it out on the playground and in the middle school and. Yeah, no, that's how old school I am. The videos make me mad. I'm like, I don't want to see your stupid video. Just write it down so I can follow my instructions. Okay.
That's fair enough. I get it.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's everything from, we'll say, yesterday and a little bit of today
A little bit
from
where,
Celebration. Yeah, I think we did a nice little recap of everything. We covered the Darth Maul show, the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, the new Starfighter movie starring Ryan Gosling. We showed some cosplayers. We
the
showed
video
some.
games. Yeah.
We talked video games. We showed a bunch of the actors who were there signing autographs and stuff. And we got a little flavor of Andor season 2 from the start of that panel. And everyone's watching the episode, and I'm very upset. So the FOMO is hitting. But yeah, I'm excited to
I'm
see
good.
what happens throughout the rest of today.
I can wait one more week. I'm good. Five
Just
days.
a week.
I'm like, I can wait.
I mean,
I
it's
can
right
wait.
around the
I'm
corner.
okay
I
with
have no
that.
patience. I don't. But
We
later
love you.
today we're going to see the Ahsoka panel,
Yeah,
and then
that's
tomorrow
coming
we get the Visions panel. So
Oh,
tomorrow
boy.
night, I will actually not be on tomorrow night. It'll be Bryce, and several other people. I think
Mhm.
Sarah and JB, you're back, right?
Yeah, we'll be back
Um,
tomorrow.
Yep.
Excellent. So they're going to cover Ahsoka with great detail, and/or hopefully you'll get a rundown of like what happened in season 1 or season 2, episode 1, if you want to talk about it. And
Earmuffs, Sarah.
whatever else happens throughout the day. So it looks like it's shaping up to be. I mean, Ahsoka coming out later. Also, we're gonna have to find out like what's going on with Balin's Skull. Like they're gonna have to
Yeah.
tell
I
us like
know.
what's
I
going on
think
there
they
with
announced
Rey.
the replacement, didn't they?
Yeah,
Not
I read that they.
officially.
Okay. It's not official.
Maybe JT, did you get official confirmation?
I
or?
saw it. I don't know if it's official, but they had, I forget what the name is, but they had it in a couple different articles. I'm wondering if they. I'm trying to say because I've got one article up here. I'm wondering if it mentions it again.
They're gonna have to do a tribute to him
No.
to Rey, and I think
Yeah.
if they handle it
This
correctly,
makes
they
me
could
so
bring out
sad.
who they're
Yeah.
recasting, and
Mm.
I think they can handle it with grace and also tell the fans what's happening. You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
By
what
the
are
way,
you gonna do if that
we
Starfighter
do.
can?
Yeah.
One thing we didn't touch on that I did not know was already out, but AJ and I think are going to do an episode about this. Light and Magic season 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just thought of that. I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
They're coming.
looks
I can't wait
great.
for
That
season
trailer. Oh, that
Episode
first season was
1,
so
yeah.
good.
2. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually
I
met
just-
somebody at one of the Boonty special editions in California who had been
Oh.
interviewed for that. He was part of a lot of the computer art design on episode 1.
Awesome.
And he told some funny behind the scenes stories. And he was like, they let him tell it. They let him tell it. It was about when they, in early episode 1, when they jump out of the ventilation shafts.
Yeah.
He was
Oh,
it was
yeah,
a great
yeah.
story. And he went off and he told the whole story. And they were like, are you sure this is okay? And they're like, yeah. He's like, it might be in the show. So I was like, I had him saying check out the vent. I had him
Yeah.
sign that on my poster because I was laughing about that story.
That's awesome.
It was
Yeah,
awesome.
they were saying in like the article I read, they were mentioning that they say in the show that like at that time movies had 300 to 400 shots with effects in them, and the Phantom Menace had a single shot that did not have an effect in it, and the only one that did not have an effect was when the gas was coming in through the vent. Every other frame of film had some sort of effect on it.
Special effect in it. Yep.
Yeah, so I just think I just can't wait to watch that show because Disney Plus, man, if they do anything perfectly for me, it's the documentaries.
I agree.
the
the behind the scenes stuff, the
Yes.
documentaries,
The
those,
John
yeah.
Williams one, the John Williams one had me in tears. Like when you
Oh,
realize how much he like was the soundtrack of our childhood, it just
Yep.
it really hits you.
That's one of my
that
favorite
one-
things to do with Rebels is that when we're watching it and I'm listening to what the Kinders did with the music, we're like, okay, well, that is a riff off of the Trench Run music.
Yeah.
And this is when the walkers were heading towards Hoth, and then they played on it and they extended it and they added to it. So it's really fun to sit there and realize how much of this music is like in my gut. Like it plays and I immediately know where that comes from because I watched it so often as a kid, and I can ping it out immediately and then have a new appreciation for how it can be, honored and blended. In fact, that was my favorite Visions episode, and I couldn't figure out why. The Ninth Jedi, I couldn't put my finger on it. And then in the behind the scenes stuff where they actually talked to the people who designed it, they said their entire episode was an homage to John Williams's music.
Yeah.
That came first, and almost what they drew and what the story they wrote came later. And I was like, well, no wonder it was my favorite. I get it now. Ding,
Right.
Bluebird has landed.
To go back for Mark and Jason wanting the vinyl, I mean that my parents had the vinyl of Star Wars, and that was, because you don't have streaming, you don't even have VHS at the time. You maybe catch it on the small screen, but the movie itself, the story was the soundtrack.
Yeah, you just had the music.
So
Yes.
much of that has
That was it.
permeated through, and that's the way we grew up with it.
Yeah, and you had to remember where in the movie was this and what was happening at the time. And my brother and I used to argue what was happening there because we didn't have a copy of the movie. So
Yeah, I've got to get that set. I don't play the vinyl, but I collect my favorite albums.
wow.
Okay, so it was 23 CD collection.
Oy.
Good Lord.
I do have CDs. I bought those when they came out, and then I uploaded them all into my computer.
Wow.
Burned them all.
It is unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. I wonder what this thing costs. Got to be like hundreds of dollars.
Oh, easy.
Wow. And in any case, yeah, but no, yeah, I think they do such a great job on those documentaries, like the Indiana Jones one, like, and Light and Magic. I mean, it's just this, like you said, Sarah, just the little behind the scenes things, like the little short bits that they do. I'm a huge behind the scenes guy, and so I love when they do that. It's so interesting to me to see that stuff and do that stuff, and like they just do a fantastic job of bringing us.
I always tell people, if you're watching Visions for the first time, watch the episode and then go watch the behind the scenes, because it's usually just 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And it gives you such a depth of knowledge and appreciation for what you just watched. Half the time when we would do it, we want to go back and watch it again, because we're like, okay, now we gotta, and the talking about the excitement, the shot in the arm that you get from these people and how thrilled they were to be able to tell a Star Wars story. It is just so affectionate. It warms your heart to see these people. I mean, they the Wallace and Grumman people opened their own studio. They were launching their own studio, and the very first thing they did was a Star Wars Vision. They literally put all their other projects on hold because Lucasfilm said, "Hey, would you like to do this little short video for us?" And they were like, "Sure."
Yeah.
Fuck everything out, and we're going to do this instead. So yeah, it's pretty spectacular what Disney has managed to do with that stuff. I agree.
Totally agree.
A panel I would love to see today, it's in the afternoon. It's the young Indy to the young Annie. So it's a look, because George Lucas does the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. That team, like a Rick McCollum, becomes the team that carries into the prequels. So they were trying things out, figuring things out, and to see then the shot with the ILM with the season 2, and you got George Lucas there with his highlighters, doing all the previs stuff, and just to think about the prequels and what he has to do with pushing technology and CG and everything, and we owe that time, and so to see these behind the scenes stuff to what we're able to see now to
experience
in productions
now.
So so much fun.
Yeah. No, it's so great to see the evolution of everything. It's just like, again, some of the stuff they showed in that trailer, it's like, and when you think about all the things, I just can't wait to see what all goes into that.
Yeah.
Because I think they had the quote, they said, like, some people think you just push a button and it's all, so simple, and it's like, no, he said there's like thousands of people behind this, and it's
it changed the nature of filmmaking forever.
Yeah.
And I think it always gives me a little bit of pride and a little bit more appreciation, because Star Wars is science fiction, and it can be adorable and it can be cute and it can be fun and it can be fluffy, but it really is altering. I mean, it really
it's boundary pushing. Yeah,
and it wasn't just this one show did this one movie thing or whatever. It changed everything. I mean, they created the volume. And look at everybody who's using it now, from Star Trek to Marvel to, everybody's using it. They have their own names for it and their own techniques, but
even Warner Brothers uses it, even though that Marvel created it. Because the Batman used stuff on the volume, and I was like, that can't be right. I thought that was proprietary.
ILM has just changed so much, and it was initiated, at least in the beginning.
And AJ always says, he because he's a graphic artist, and so we talk on the show, and he says with certain things like, oh, the CG doesn't hold up, and I've never believed in that, because like I love like early 80s, mid 80s like horror films or sci-fi, because like you see like in Terminator 19 when he's cutting the skin around his eye out, it is so cheesy, but that is part of the charm of it. And I think like, even though some of the CG, if you want to say it didn't hold up or whatever, in like in Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones or something, I think it still looks great. And I think 100%. What we forget too easily is that when we saw that back then, we were like, holy crap, this is amazing. Yeah. I mean, it was just so good and so revolutionary, and it amplified Star Wars to an even bigger level, and I think that really gets forgotten, and to me that's sad. So AJ and I always kind of not argue about it, but it's a discussion that we always have.
It's not given the same amount of credit that it's due, even all these years later.
Yeah,
because things have evolved and changed and gotten better but I don't believe that they would be as good as they are now if you hadn't had those ILM teams pushing it the way they did 20 years ago, 25 years ago, 30 years ago. And that is kind of tapered out of the public consciousness.
I think Star Wars is at its best when it's pushing both story as well as technological means of. I mean, George has always used the visual medium in action in particular to tell a story, and so he's always wanted to push the boundaries to try to catch up with his imagination. And I'm guessing right now we're still not there. So there's more room to grow, which is going to be fun.
Yeah, and I think to your point, I think to me that's what Star Wars is. Yeah. Period. I mean, it's always, I mean, even when you go back to 77, having Princess Leia as one of your main characters, like that wasn't a thing. And then you bring in Lando in 1980, like, stuff like that. And then, the technology end of things. And, it's always something that's moving forward, and that's why, when I threw my fit, I mentioned earlier about,
it should be.
It's like, that's the new thing. Like, and I understand that you may not like it, but you got to understand, like, and when people are going, oh, that's not Star Wars. Yeah, it is. Actually, that's the most Star Wars thing they can do.
Yeah.
Well,
according to who?
That's the most Star Wars thing they can do.
Yeah. Why do you get to decide what is and isn't Star Wars?
Yeah.
Who, I have to, I'm you say that. I 100% agree,
And like I say, like you may not like everything because not everybody liked everything, all the choices they made throughout the years. But at least it's there for someone to enjoy, and it might open something else that you enjoy. And I just love that it's always pushing. I just think that's great. Like you guys were talking earlier about not wanting to play it safe, and I think that's great. I think that's great.
I think that's when Star Wars is its weakest, is when it falls back on the trite and the hackneyed and the tropes.
And the expected.
And you know what though? Sometimes I love that. Like I love it like a good comfort food. You know what I mean? Like like I don't want to try a new restaurant. I don't want I don't want my tofu noodle. I want some effing mac and cheese. I want to get fatter on mac and cheese. Like, and sometimes I like that balance, but I like that they provide that too.
That's what I'm saying is that those things will always be there, but when that's all you get, I think we're losing sight of what made Star Wars great in the first place.
Well, and I think to bring it full circle, I think that's what makes Ceebration great, because Ceebration is that melting pot that we're talking about right now. And it's just, I mean, Ceebration is, they couldn't have picked a better name for this convention, I think. And I just,
good point.
Like I said, like when I just watching this, the live stage, as we're talking, I just get goosebumps because, it's everything there is just so positive. And that is what I always take away from Ceebration, is that I go there and I'm surrounded, I'm getting emotional. I'm surrounded by, like 50,000 people who we look at each other and go, I love Star Wars too. There's
James Jones from Big Bang Theory. That's my favorite line.
Exactly.
Yep. We all need to be more like that.
Yeah. And you just, my brother and I, it's basically a full week for us. Like we, really spread it out. And we just, we feel great. We're hanging out with other people that feel great. There's none of the online vitriol. There's none of that crap. It's just
nobody baiting for clicks. Nobody trying to get hate views. Yeah, exactly.
If you don't like, say, The Last Jedi, I know a lot of people don't. I love it. You can sit down with somebody who online may go, you're stupid, I hate them. But at Ceebration, you're gonna sit there and go, oh man, but what about this? And they're like, oh, what about this? Like, it's just a beautiful place to be. And I think it's just the best thing they could do. And I can't wait for 2027. And I'm glad that you guys keep this alive on this network and with these shows. And because I think you guys do an awesome job of keeping the spirit of Ceebration alive. You really do. And I think that's
our
awesome.
whole mission statement. So.
Well, you're doing a fantastic job.
It's gonna be now. Alert the leadership. We now have a mission statement.
So on our website,
hopefully the Nerf Herder Council ain't tearing that down.
we with with the new website launch, which is our
Mhm.
public because the Facebook group is private, but the website has all of our public information. We did put like what is the group, and we
Hmm.
actually a bunch of us tried to come together and figure out like what is the mission statement, and keeping the spirit of celebration alive year round is kind of it. Right, like
Like
That's
it.
connecting
awesome.
with other fans,
Yeah.
and it really leans on events and programming. Those are like the two
Yeah.
sort of arms of that: meeting in real life, meeting digitally. That was kind of the thing.
Okay.
And we have a tagline. It's where strangers become family in a galaxy far, far away, which is true, right?
Yeah.
Like we are,
Very
and it's
nice.
weird. I like Sarah. I see you every week, basically, and we like hung out in real life twice, right?
Yeah.
But like,
All of twice. Yeah.
yeah, but like, yeah, we're friends, and it's the kind of
Yeah.
thing where like I wish all of us lived closer.
Mhm.
I think as more and more events start populating the calendar and the group gets bigger and everything, we're gonna have more opportunities for that kind of stuff. So
I hope
that's what
so.
I'm really looking forward to the rest of the year. Because for anyone who didn't make it to Celebration, hopefully you're not feeling the FOMO too much. Hopefully we're keeping you up to date. But also hopefully we will see you at either San Diego Comic Con or Rebel Scum Con in Texas. So July, August, and then of course Rhode Island Comic Con in
Comic-Con in
November.
November. Come see
So
us. It'll
yeah,
be nice and chilly up here. You can wear your warm cosplay and you don't have to worry about sweating to death.
exactly.
Yeah.
I want to put up Aubrey's comment real
Yep.
quick. One of the most memorable Star Wars moments was in Chicago, 2019. Shout out. On the merch floor, the trailer for the new movie was about to play, and the entire floor just stopped and watched the trailer. No one moved. I cried so hard. I was right next to the electric magnet rise vehicle area, and all these people just shared that moment with me. Exactly. It's
We're
these like,
there.
We were
you
there
know,
too. And I turned to look at my husband and he's got tears running down his face.
mhm. Who knew that episode 9 was gonna get us with the trailer and then swerve us with the movie? But
Mhm, mhm,
Now,
mhm.
yeah.
positivity.
That's a whole nother
Yeah.
episode.
That's it.
Exactly.
It's too late
Yeah.
for those kind of comments, right? Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, I remember like vividly learning things behind the scenes and just their lifelong memories. Meeting Filoni was really the number one for me because I got to
Oh, wow.
he was in the green room and we had brought so many people from Clone Wars and Rebels to Celebration 19, and I got to say a quick hello and I told him I was like, thank you so much for like
Oh, that
um
was so
you know
cool. I'm jealous.
one, everything you created, but also all of these amazing actors that are here speaks to the work ethic that you and everyone put into this. That like we want them here, the fans want them here, like everyone loves the show. You're the creator, like you're following George. And I got a photo with him. Me and Jason got a picture with him, and he signed my Rebels poster, which is still my best autograph.
Oh,
Like he's
great.
at the top of my Rebels poster with a little Ahsoka picture on it. Like amazing. So those are the types of memories that you make at these things, and it's you can't replace that with anything.
No,
Love it.
my family, they went because the first few AJ and I just did ourselves. It's like a brothers thing, and then my wife finally was like, "I'm going, damn it!" Like, okay, so brought my wife and my stepson, and I had told her, you run into these actors, like just out of the blue. And my stepson, and my wife, they believe me, but not really. Like they had a hard time believing that, oh, famous people are just walking around. Sure.
Mhm.
And so, I had told them about, I'm trying to remember, I think it was Anaheim in 15. We ran into Ray Park at the bar on Wednesday night, and he was blasted. And I got absolutely wrecked with Ray Park to the point where when he did his panel the next day, he was doing his moves. He says, these moves are a lot easier to do when you're not hungover. And I went, that's me. That's my fault. I did that. Well, anyway, so when they came to Orlando in 17, I was scoping out the lines the night before and seeing where we go. And all of a sudden he walks in and I was like, he outran. There's not too many people. I'm like 20. And I said, come on over. I said, Ray, could we get a picture? And he says, yeah, sure. So they put their arms around him and take a picture. All right, thanks. He walks away and they go, who was that? I said, that was Darth Maul. And they went, what? So fast forward to Sunday, and I was off with AJ doing something, and they were going back to the hotel. And I get this text message from my wife. This is like after the closing ceremony. And it's she and my stepson with Warwick Davis. And she loves Warwick.
Yeah.
So he was going through the hotel lobby, and she asked politely, can I have a photo? And they were over the moon. And so those are the sorts of things that are just so cool. Like, I've done these things, many times, having been to Celebration and other experiences, They haven't, and all of a sudden they're hanging out with Star Wars fans, and my wife is a huge Star Wars fan, and they get to meet, Wicket and Darth Maul. Like, they were so excited. It's just so cool to be able to share that stuff with them. So,
I love it.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about, and it's sort of the main point of this network too. So, like we said, for anyone who's feeling the FOMO, we're going to keep you well fed. I will not be back tomorrow night, but Sarah and JB will, along with Bryce. I will be checking in during the day and make sure you guys are all set up with everything you need. So it'll be a blast. Hopefully we'll get the StreamYard situation sorted. But outside of that, I thought it was a great start to the show. And day 2 looks to be really promising. I'm sure there'll be a lot of Ahsoka news. We'll find out she's the daughter, and that Hayden and Sam are going to be in the show. All my theories will come true, et cetera, et cetera. Well, with that, make sure you guys tune in. Like I said, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we are on for 5 straight nights here on the Ceebration Nightly News Network. And then the Andor coverage starts next week. So it is crazy.
Andor starts on Wednesday. Andor starts on Wednesday.
You have your review show on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, so, we're gonna get through as much as we can, and kind of, my brother did an Andor review on our last episode. And so Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time. AJ
Excellent.
And I will be live on the Nerf Herder Council right here on the Virtual Cantina Network.
Okay.
And we'll be giving our thoughts about the newly released Andor Season 2 episodes that we have seen. So,
Fantastic.
And then after you watch the recap on Wednesday, Thursday, watch along episodes 1 and 2 with Spencer, Jeff, and Dave. And then on Friday with me, Sarah, and Ashley. So it'll be for episode 3 and sort of full wraparound. It's going to be a crazy week. But thank you, everyone, for joining. Any final words before we go?
Thanks for having me, man. This was a blast, and everybody have a blast at Ceebration. Great to meet you guys too, man.
Great to meet you, JT. Great to see you, Mark.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. This was an interesting crew. I like this. We got it. One of my goals for the rest of the year is mixing and matching the hosts and having people visit each other's shows more frequently. And now that Sarah is one of our full-time hosts, taking over on Daughters of the Galaxy, and of course leading the Andor rewatch with me and Ashley on night 2, as it were. We'll be everywhere. Sarah, you're stuck now. You volunteered that one time.
I'm in for it. I'm in for it. Darn that Rebel show.
And JB, I'll see you later in the week. All right. Good night, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Everyone for joining, and may the force be with you.
Later, guys.
Bye.